On the couch today, we have Bill, our producer, and then we also have David, who might be joining us for some technical aspects of things. David's Gerard's roommate.
Day.
He's 21.
I was about to ask.
He is 24 going on 25, okay?
24 going on 25.
Born on the same day.
25 going on 13.
Known this guy since 6th grade. So.
Nice.
He's still in 6th grade, right?
He's just...
Since he was in 6th grade.
I would hope not.
Pulled him out of
He's
school
been keeping
today.
that secret from me all these
I
years.
think he's got a baby face like
He's
me.
just-
'cause I've got like 9 years on all you guys, but nobody probably knows that.
I'm
I
2
know.
years younger than he is, and I look like his dad.
Sound like him.
I also just real quick want to cut to Captain Dan. Right
yeah.
there. And
Ooh.
Good pull, Tanner.
Who did that?
That was me.
That was good.
That's pretty good.
Appreciate it.
Oh, Gerard.
Did you write that down?
You're not in your pajamas, are you?
I am. I'm in my sweatpants,
Yeah.
which are... I need to get up and go so I wake up, so... Yeah.
I have some more official-looking pajamas. But I don't think you trust wearing anything I've worn, do you?
I don't. Good.
Smells like I do.
Good.
Schedule.
Oh, God.
Oh, I gotta love that.
I stopped wearing pajamas, and just the morning, if I had to go out before taking a shower, I would just wear the clothes I wore the night before.
I typically don't sleep with anything on, but whenever I wake up, the first thing I put on is my robe, so I call that my pajamas.
I'm getting closer and closer to trying that because it's randomly I'll just sleep in my underwear. I'm like, this feels great.
It's just like, I've gotten to the point where in the middle of the night I'll wake up and whatever clothing I am wearing is all twisted around and uncomfortable, so I just throw it off in the middle of the night, so I started cutting that step out.
I mostly just sleep in boxers, but I decided to do this today 'cause it's more fun.
Yeah, for sure.
What about some armpit hair if I need to?
Yeah, go ahead and surprise Jimmy with that whenever you want.
Catch a whiff of Thailand and SpaghettiO pits.
I took a shower this morning.
Thank you. That's a big achievement. That needs to be a
Can we just
picture.
stay like this?
Bill can get on
Stay
that.
like this the whole show. It's be good.
All right, so on this day, like I mentioned, it's March 31st, the last day of the month. On this day in 1889, the Eiffel Tower officially opens in Paris. Has anyone ever been to Paris here?
No,
No.
I've never been outside the U.S.
I took a French
I've
class.
been to the Caribbean, but that's it.
I really want to go to Paris. I tried learning French in college. I passed. Don't actually remember anything.
I remember more French than I do Spanish, but I remember very little of both. The only thing that I can reliably remember from Spanish is Tengo Hombre. I figure that's, aww.
My hometown has
Warms
a
the heart.
a Bobo fake Eiffel Tower that's like not even that big. It's a shopping complex.
Huh.
It's really really funny. But
Do you know
for
what the
first,
purpose is? Like,
I
are
don't
they
know.
the sister city of Paris or something?
No, I guess to stand out at some. I don't know why it's there.
Huh.
Just to be eye candy? I have
Yeah.
no idea. But I remember like probably the first 5 years of my life, like probably thinking that was the Eiffel Tower. and then somebody, probably my mom or dad, had to break down that it's just a replica.
Yeah, not the actual one. What is it, like 3 feet tall or something?
Just maybe like 10.
Okay,
Maybe
gotcha.
20, I don't know.
Gotcha.
It's very small.
Well, what was the purpose of the Eiffel Tower? Does anyone know? This isn't something I want to go as deep as looking it up and everything. I'm just curious if anyone knows off the top of their head.
I honestly don't, and I know that's a shocker. I'm sure.
That's
but
a first,
I really
yeah.
don't know.
It's probably like you're just looking at your space that you live in, like it's missing something.
Probably an artist designed it, some kind of
Yeah,
thing.
they do a lot of artsy stuff. 'Cause they have what the Louvre too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is the Louvre the place where the paintings are?
Yes.
Or is, okay, what's the thing?
The glass pyramid.
No, it's like a square thing.
Arc de Triomphe.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's in Paris too. I'm pretty sure. Then they have like a replica in New York. But yeah, so Eiffel Tower, and then it was it held the record for the tallest man-made structure for 41 years. So Tanner, real quick, what's 41 plus 1889?
That would be 1930.
Nice. Any idea? Was the what is it called? The Empire State Building. You think that was it?
Wait, what?
You think the Empire State Building is what took over for the Eiffel Tower in 1930?
I have no. I guess. I mean, New York. I feel like that would have happened during the 1890s when like they started building the skyscrapers during the Gilded Age.
Let
So
me
I'm
know
not-
if you want me to look up anything.
Yeah, you can go ahead and be looking this up.
blindly.
Because I'm surprised Tanner has such limited knowledge about this stuff.
Oh. Okay. All right. I see how it is.
Whoa,
Fine.
don't want to repeat it.
But I
yesterday.
mean,
Calm
if
down.
if the Empire State Building was built in 1890, then the Eiffel Tower wouldn't have had the record for 41 years because the Empire State Building is definitely taller than the Eiffel Tower.
I mean, maybe that's the case. I just figured that. I mean, maybe construction started.
Okay.
Though. I mean, I assume the Empire State Building.
Why'd you do Trump
I don't know. I got attention though. The Eiffel Tower is not a building; it's a structure.
Yeah.
Look it up. Look it up. Everybody knows. Look it up.
So is there there's a
Relax.
different
That's
man-made
all.
structure that
That's all I had. I don't know about. Oh, I looked up list of tallest buildings.
Okay, I see.
Hmm.
Also, on this day in 2001, the Netherlands are the first contemporary country to legalize same-sex marriage. I'm not sure exactly what it means by contemporary country. Maybe there were countries where it was never made illegal or something like that. But like I pointed out before we got on mic, I'm kind of surprised that it was ever even illegal in the Netherlands, because that part of the world is traditionally the happiest part and traditionally sort of the most liberal. I mean, probably not in the terms of the way we think of liberal, but in terms of actual personal freedom,
Yeah, all the smoking they do over there. And they're just like, yeah, go ahead, do what you want.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has plenty of space. Everyone has free health care. Everyone is well educated. They know that they don't have to be offended by seeing other people kiss, unlike small-minded Southerners.
They're too high, just even
Yeah.
even be bothered by that, I guess.
Yeah, the Amsterdam is in the Netherlands. That's true. I'm not sure if that's like a running motif throughout. Oh my goodness.
Oh, you just saw
That's
the
very intense.
This is
That's
me
very,
and
that's
Tyler
very
a second ago.
intense. Wow. Okay.
That's those guys look more like Greek or Brazilian to me than Netherlands.
Oh, I just
Costa
typed in
Rican.
gay.
Oh.
I think that was the first result. Let me double check.
I have
believe-
info. I have information
Please.
pertinent to not.
Pertinent to the Eiffel Tower.
Yes. 1884, Washington Monument became the world's tallest, I believe it's man-made structure,
For 5 years.
tallest historical structures. And then 1889, Eiffel Tower, France, which is the first structure to exceed 300 meters in height. The addition of a telecommunications tower in the 1950s brought it to the overall height of 324 meters. And then in the 1930, the Chrysler Building in New York surpassed the Eiffel Tower.
Okay.
Then in 1931, the Empire State Building surpassed the Chrysler Building.
So Chrysler only had it for 1 year.
Exciting stuff.
How pissed would you be if you were the person who built the Chrysler Building, and then 1 year later, you have the Empire State Building just towering over you,
Why isn't Trump like, I don't know,
trying to build the
Yes,
tallest
yeah.
building?
Doesn't he claim?
He already has the tallest building. Look it up.
Doesn't he
Look it up.
claim
Everybody
that one?
knows.
I think the tallest building right now is in Dubai.
It is Burj Khalifa.
Okay, yeah, that's right. That's right.
I don't
Built in
think you
2007.
pronounced that correctly. Can we get Alex Trebek on
Burj.
the line?
How would you pronounce that,
Khalifa.
Jimmy?
I don't.
You look right at it.
Burj.
Yeah, I think you did it right.
Yeah, I mean,
I
that
think,
sounds
I
right.
think you made Alex proud.
And that is, I've never seen any of the Mission Impossible movies, but I know that that's the one that Tom Cruise, was hanging off of. He did his own stunts on, because previously that was like one of the most extreme stunts, and then he surpassed that by doing the plane thing. And I was just seeing an interview that in Mission Impossible 6, there's going to be an even more death-defying stunt that Tom Cruise is doing all himself.
How old is that little man?
He's got to be close to 50, if not already. Are you looking that up, Tyler?
I'm on it.
Thank you. Yeah, Tom Cruise, but I mean, he does all his own stunts. It's nuts. I guess
54.
54. Wow. I guess that's the kind of faith you get when you have Scientology on your side.
You know Jackie Chan.
I was
You will
about to
never
say.
be Jackie Chan
True.
in
True.
your life.
Yeah, Jackie Chan is so like modest about it too. Like you never see him like. It's not that Tom Cruise is necessarily like immodest, but Jackie Chan's never been jumping on Oprah's couch or
Nope.
anything crazy like
nah,
that.
Nope, not holding somebody captive.
Are you just referring to South Park, or does that actually happen?
No, I'm just messing.
Oh.
Fun fact about my hometown, Camden, North Carolina. Apparently, when they just went off the grid, him and Kate,
Yeah.
they were staying in Camden.
What?
And I believe it because Camden is a place that nobody would
Yeah,
even.
totally off the grid. Yeah.
Yep, nobody would look for you there.
Huh. Yeah, man. Imagine if you're Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes and you go to just little Camden, North Carolina. You're a king.
Yeah,
Like you are.
You are.
More than a king.
Yes. you are.
It's like in The Office, Michael thinks that Johnny Depp is buying a condo in his complex. And there's always like those little fake ads. I remember there was a while where they were really bad. There's a string of them where they would just find little nowhere towns and say so-and-so, Woody Harrelson or something like that, is looking for a new place to live. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, dude, yeah.
Yeah, it was just all those like straight up fake news that have absolutely no basis in reality. So that's on this day. Where did my paper get around to? Any ideas, guys?
Is that it right there?
I'm not sure.
I
It's,
passed you a
The
paper
one with the
bag.
paper and the beers on it.
Oh, that's it.
I wrote.
That's
I
all
wrote
good.
it.
We'll share when the time comes.
Okay. Okay.
So Tanner, you've got your hands full, so I won't make you copy down this list. You can just guess after I read them out to you. We'll go and do our taste test for the beers, so they don't get too cold. So last
Too
night,
warm?
yeah, yeah. No one wants beers that are too cold. Last night I picked up 6 beers. We're going to taste 4 of them, see if we can identify them. The 6 beers in total are New Belgium Citradelic IPA, Sierra Nevada Torpedo Extra IPA, Highland Gaelic Ale, Foothills Hopium IPA, Blue Point Optical Illusion, and Highwire Bed of Nails Brown Ale. So we're working with 4 IPAs and then 2 other variations of an ale. So I didn't switch it up as much as last week. We'll see if that makes it harder or easier. So I guess I'll go ahead and take number 1. You guys feel free to jump in with that, whatever you want.
I'm gonna sit this out.
Sitting it out?
Yeah,
He's got
yeah.
cooties.
I have a weak immune system, so
okay.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's-
Yeah.
I'm the only one that's got any type of bugaboos.
But it doesn't take much for me to get. I once got sick from I was chiefing with somebody one time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That'll do it to you.
Yep.
You gotta use more caution, Gerard.
You got the list.
Mm-hmm.
Can I see that?
Yeah, here you go.
Thank you. Oops. Towel's falling
There
off.
goes the
Uh-oh.
towel. My old man.
Just-
Look what happened.
Yeah, a sip of IPA, and that's it.
So just to put anyone who might be worried at ease, Tanner does have boxers under the towel.
That's
I
it.
almost
It
didn't.
looks like the 360 camera is capturing it in its
Oh
full
yeah,
glory.
it is. Yeah, just got me just looking at him at the corner of my eye.
Gerard, I consider you a friend. I
Yeah,
think we're
you're
at
dope.
the point where this is like a
Nah, it's not. It's not. You gotta understand. Even as David, I get weirded out by stuff like that. I'm good.
Functions.
Stuff that boundaries on homosexual.
It's a little bit. So it's just like I don't feel that comfortable with just
Yeah.
being around like
Can
this
I,
sometimes. So
right mine like right next to yours.
Yeah. Let me just do
Yeah.
my number 2.
Mm-hmm. So who here out of the people drinking, who here is like really into craft beer?
I just came around to IPAs.
Yeah?
Yeah, to the point where I don't like Bud
Here you go,
Light
Tanner.
or
Thank you.
any of the domestic kind of stuff anymore.
I went through that like a year ago, where all I was drinking was really dark or heavy beers, and for the past like 3 or 4 months, anytime I drink nothing but heavy beers, I get a bad headache. I think it's something with either the wheat or the hops or something like that. So I've switched back to more like lager type things, like Heineken and stuff like that.
You need to get some Mick Ultra. Keep
Yeah.
that figure.
I don't mess.
No.
I don't really like IPAs. It's too much hops for me.
Mhm.
Like it's just too much of that going on, so I can't really
When you
taste
guys grow
the
up,
distinction.
your taste buds will acclimate.
I
You guys
never,
will-
I never
agree.
thought that I would like IPAs, and then I got
Yeah, me
really
too.
heavy into them for a long time. And then Dan said the same thing happened to him, where he was brewing his own beer and stuff, drinking a lot of really heavy beers, and then it just started to give him a headache. And I've talked to a couple other people, so I think it is like wheat or something like that.
Sorry.
No, I was just saying, typically, like I don't have celiacs or anything like that. I don't have any other aversion to pretty much any foods. But just these heavy beers, for whatever reason, just instantly trigger a headache.
I just like I like drinking a lot, and I especially like drinking craft beers a lot.
Yeah.
I like just about everything. I could find something good. I'm trying to think of a single style where I just outright won't drink it, and I don't really like wheat beers that much, but I'll still give them a try.
Like Hefeweizen.
Yeah,
I don't
but I still try them. My favorite beer, or at least my gateway beer. Actually, my gateway beer, now that I think about it, was Hopium from
Okay,
Foothills,
yeah.
one of these beers. I'm hoping I got it right,
Yeah.
considering. But then I remember getting a beer called Death by Hops from Old Hickory Brewery, and that one, if you don't like hops, don't drink it.
Yeah.
But that one, I was just like, I've never tasted anything like this before, and I really liked it a lot.
Do you have a particular brand that you love, no matter what they put out? You-
Foothills is one of them.
Foothills?
Old Hickory, who makes Death by Hops. Ballast Point is obviously super good. I mean, that's why they're like number
Yeah,
one.
we switched.
Actually, Snake Dog IPA is like a go-to $10 for a 6-pack
You wanna switch
IPA
it?
for me.
How do you feel about Lagunitas?
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lagunitas is just rock solid all the
That's
time.
my go-to now.
Yeah.
Do you guys brew beer?
No.
No,
Ever?
Mm-mm.
We should do that on the show. I
We
got all the
should.
gear to do it.
Yeah,
We can do
yeah.
beer in the parking lot.
If
I
anyone
can't take you seriously. Just yeah, man, I'm just gonna brew
Yeah.
some beer.
we should bring Andy, my rocket scientist friend, who's super smart, and he also brews his own beer.
Sweet.
Dan Baca offered us the chance to brew beer in house.
Yeah, thank you for clearing it up because he was off mic. Yeah, and that's something we've talked about since before the show even got started, is wanting to do a Prime Nation beer. So we might start working with just us, or we might try the first batch with us, see how bad it is.
I think it needs to
A
fit.
little pretentious white.
I already am. First of all, second of all, I feel like it needs to represent our personalities and our great wits.
No, it should taste good.
Yeah, we should.
Hefeweizens and stouts are really easy to make for first-time brews.
Are stouts easy to make?
Hefeweizens
Oh,
and
they're the
stouts
easiest.
Interesting.
are easy, apparently.
Interesting.
And they're faster for us.
It's just what we
Like
were
a
just
Heffalump?
saying. I'm not. It's like a really
It's Mr. Heffy, but very wise.
light. Like, how would you describe the flavor of Hefeweizens? It kind of reminds me of a flat soda.
It's a little like lemony.
Yeah. Yeah, citrusy for sure.
I think it's. I mean,
people who actually care about beer are
Add like
mad at us right now because we're butchering this.
I have a
little bit of
book that
orange
I've
in
read.
there. I like to put a little
Yeah.
bit of orange.
Orange and Hefeweizen.
If we want
I've
to
read-
talk soda, I can go all day.
Oh, Cheerwine's the frickin' greatest.
This is gonna be my cigarette. This is what I'm gonna get cancer from.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
I agree. If there ever was an addiction in my life, it was soda for sure. I think I've started to curb it. I'm drinking a lot more variety of drinks now. But yeah, soda, it's the carbonation more than anything.
Yes, I drink a lot of carbonated water.
Okay.
Just with little LaCroix.
Yeah, I've never been able to get around with like sparkling water,
Yeah,
any of that type of stuff.
Mhm.
I like the fizzy.
Oh, I think the most disgusting thing I've put in my mouth recently was
Recently.
yeah. No, but
Recent.
I chose my words very carefully there. Y'all are laughing. I chose
No,
the
it's
word
good.
recently
It's fun.
with deliberation. It was probably I tried a Perrier or Perrier, however you want to
What?
pronounce it
That
for the first
stuff's
time. I hated it.
It's
I-
like
I-
IPAs. You have to come around. To
No,
it.
I
I've
don't.
given my roommate the carbonated water.
dumped it out.
Yeah.
I would rather dump it out and let someone not experience it than let someone have joy from it. That's how much I hate it.
Two things. Turns out a Heffalumps from Winnie the Pooh. And second thing, Taryn, do you
Oh
need
yeah, they
help?
did a movie.
With the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta retape it a bit.
Let's get some more tape.
I'll get
I
some
think I
tape.
can help Tanner out.
I got this. I got it. Don't
No,
worry.
I want to do it.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Oh,
Who's
God.
gonna get to pull it off at the end of the show?
Yeah.
Like that's gotta be like just like
Yeah.
a little waxing. Of
Yeah,
each
I
other.
think that's what the angle Tyler's going for.
Mm-hmm.
Are we
So,
gonna rank these,
tape is-
or-
well, we're
Pick
going to
the-
figure out
yeah,
who
rank
got
them.
them right. So I'll go ahead and read off my guesses first. I guessed that Citradelic was number 1. I guessed that Gaelic Ale was number 2. I guessed that Brown Ale was number 3, and Optical Illusion was number 4.
Okay, I'm totally with you on the Citradelic being number 1. The brown ale, the Bed of Nails, number 3. I had no idea about number 2 and number 4. I just knew that they were IPA, so I went with the Torpedo IPA for number 2 and the Optical
Here's
Illusion
your
for
shot,
number 4.
Okay, nice.
Thank you. Mine was I agree with you guys again on number 6, the high wire. That's definitely the brown ale.
Yeah.
I said that the number 1 was Highland Gaelic.
Nope.
Number 2 was Sierra Nevada Torpedo Extra IPA, and number 4 was Foothills Opium. I really hope I get that right since I drink that beer a lot.
All right, moment of truth. Number 1 is Citradelic.
Ooh.
Number 2 is Hopium.
Mother.
Yeah, number 2 is Hopium. Number 3 is the brown ale, of course. We all got that right. Number 4 is Optical Illusion.
All right.
Yeah, so I got
got 3.
3 out of 4.
Yeah, we got the same.
And then Tanner,
Interesting.
2.
Yeah, wait, I got 3, but I got number 3 right. Did I get number 4?
Yeah, I think you got 2 correct out of 4 because you got.
I didn't get number 4 correct, but did I get number 1 or 2?
1. No, you missed 1 and 4. Oh, actually,
Yeah,
no.
Tyler, I think we get the point.
Yeah,
No, but he's starting to make
Made you-
like a little
yeah.
superhero thing.
It's
here
like a
going
it's like a
on.
stoplight on your chest.
I just now noticed what was going on. Yeah, Tanner, I'm sorry to say you only got 1 out of 4 right.
Well, I own a book called How Tasting Beer, and I've read it cover to cover. Clearly, I did not impart any of the information.
Shows
into
you
my
all the
bit.
good that
We need to
book
get
learning does for you.
I know. Can't
Tanner,
learn
can
nothing
you
from it.
Show the class.
We need
Yeah.
to just put your towel around your neck now because you're starting to look like a
Yeah,
superhero.
I
Was
think-
it a
A
T?
bedtime superhero.
I just
That
started
was
Real life
I'm
Captain
I'm trying
Underpants.
not to move it. Ugh.
You're Ruben on.
Hello.
It's right in the 3D camera, so that's good.
Hey, buddy. Hey, live.
I can
Hi,
tell
live.
Gerard's uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
And he already doesn't like being touched. so-
Brian Granger or Jeremy Bivens, please say
Oh,
something
yeah.
to this.
This is a
Oh,
prime
what
day
Jeremy
for.
Bivens did for your Teen Vogue.
Was
thing.
that?
Oh,
Yeah, we
cracking
showed it
me up.
yesterday on the show.
Fantastic.
Was that not like the freaking? Yeah.
Ooh, I think since that started, viewership has gone up and down between 2 and 3.
All right, guys. Well, it's already time for our first break. When we get back, we'll talk about pop culture, and we might even throw in an extra segment today because with that one lasted so long. But we're having fun. I hope you guys are as well. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. Take it easy till then, guys.
I'm having.
March 31st, we're back from our first break. This is Prime Nation Radio. So jumping into pop culture, everyone who is listening to this right now, I'm sure, is aware of the bridge collapse in Atlanta last
This
night.
is pop culture. This is
What else would it be? A nerd culture?
We might need to rebrand this.
yeah. This is like this. Just I guess it's like a
This is more current events.
yeah.
But,
Pop culture.
Yeah, we decided to do away with current events and just separate into pop culture and nerd culture. But yeah, I mean, unless we want to talk about the specifics of the wires and the voltage, yeah, I'd say it falls under pop instead of nerd culture.
All right. Okay. We can
Maybe we
continue.
just shouldn't have categories. We should just have topics we talk about.
Yeah.
Just for running the show.
One way to do it.
But the I-85.
Yeah, it was I-85 in Georgia, which, have you ever lived in?
Yeah, I've lived in Georgia, and it's a nightmare as far as traffic. But what I like about it, you know the hours of when it's going to be busy, or if something's going on downtown Atlanta, then no, I need to be home at a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I like about it. But this is going to screw that city over for so many years now.
I can't imagine, man. Yeah, because I've only been to Atlanta once, and we were sitting in traffic for about an hour and 45 minutes.
It's ridiculous. And then you get out of it, and you're like, well, what were we here for? Like, there was nothing in front of us. Like,
That's the most frustrating thing when you're in bumper-to-bumper traffic and you're just waiting. Because I like to rubberneck and try to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, but no dead bodies, no wrecked cars.
Yeah.
You can't see anything. You're just like,
Let me get to your screen.
There's clips earlier in this video of cars driving by as there's just a massive smoke cloud and stuff. You can only imagine what's going through their heads, because if it were me, I'd be thinking, when is this thing going to explode?
wow.
You know? So I've got this queued up, and about 10 seconds here is when the explosion happens that causes the actual collapse. Right now, it's just fire from the wiring underneath, and Bill was telling me that he knows this section of the interstate, and it's just held up by, he said that he would compare it to like monorail supports. So, I mean, definitely an infrastructure issue. Hopefully this video won't be too laggy. We're doing it from a screen grab. So what we're going to see here in a couple seconds, there's the giant explosion, and the bridge is actually going to collapse here soon. Oh, man.
So the wiring initially fried out and started a fire, then like it just caused a big explosion, which collapsed.
Yeah. It was on fire for, yep, and there it goes.
Did we know? Was anyone hurt or killed?
Nope, no injuries at all.
Holy cow!
I know, yeah, because imagine how bad this could have been if there were people. And the really horrible thing is this is an overpass, so all this has fallen. If I'm not mistaken, it's going to cause congestion on the lower part of the road as well.
Yeah.
do we have any daredevils that could, like Evil Knievel, that'd be willing to jump that
Jump
out?
that gap. Well,
Because
they got to pull the
something with it
speed.
now.
They got to pull the speed, take a bus, and do it.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was the wiring underneath that caught fire. I'm not sure how long it was burning for, but this is about 28 minutes into the live video. So the fire must have been raging for at least, I would think, 15 to half an hour before the news choppers even got there.
Isn't "Raging Fire" a song by Philip Phillips?
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know. I don't know if anyone in this room. I can't tell you
Philip
anything about Philip Phillips.
He's an American Idol guy, right?
I think.
Really? Okay.
It is.
All right.
Cool.
All I know about Philip Phillips is that his parents were lazy. So,
Or loved alliteration.
Yeah, maybe they were just like clever. They knew he'd be a star one day.
He's not a star. Let's move on.
I feel like if you name, like, for instance, I have an uncle whose name is Bobby Roberts. Robert Roberts. That's just lazy. I'll call my grandparents lazy. I'll be the first to do it. So our next story, which I guess still current events, not necessarily pop culture. In Australia, Cyclone Debbie, which who can do the best Australian accent?
Oi!
Debbie.
Cyclone Debbie.
The shark! The shark washed up on land.
Oh, we're supposed to say crikey?
Crikey, it's a freaking shark.
Like Debbie ate my baby.
I can see how we make this pop culture. This could be the shark from Shark Tales.
Okay.
Got sucked up by a cyclone,
Makes sense.
and he washed up ashore.
He washed up on land.
All the shark movies to go with.
Yeah, Shark Tale.
Shark Tale.
That's
Could have
it.
been Bruce from Finding Nemo.
I didn't know his name. That's why I just
Okay.
Shark Tale.
Yeah.
You know exactly what I'm talking
Actually,
about.
It
Bruce
couldn't.
from Jaws.
Oh yeah, it couldn't have been Bruce because Bruce was a great white. This is a bull shark, and bull sharks, if I'm sure I am mistaken, but from what I think is right, they're the most aggressive type of sharks, and they can be in freshwater as well.
Really?
There was a bull shark in one of the lakes, I think in Michigan, not too long ago, but then definitely in Africa. What's his name? Jeremy Wade, who does Monster Fish, whatever that show is.
Okay.
Where he
Oh,
They
yeah,
go
I know what
noodle?
show you're talking about.
What is it on the History Channel?
Yeah, what is that show called, man?
What's his name?
Jeremy Wade. But anyway, yeah, he does
Jerome
this fishing
Wade.
show where he goes and hunts down like seemingly mythical creatures or something like that. And
River Monsters.
River Monsters, that's
and
it.
Jungle Hooks.
oh, I didn't know about jungle hooks. Interesting. But yeah, in River Monsters, he had a 7-hour battle with a bull shark in a river in Africa because it had been eating people and plaguing the whole town.
So he goes to go fight water creatures.
Yeah,
That's it.
he's like a reverse Aquaman. But yeah, I remember he had the shark on the line for 7 hours, just fighting with it till they could finally reel it in, and the shark was pulling his boat. That's
I
how
bet.
strong this thing is.
By
Wow.
the
Yeah.
way, this is a picture on screen
Oh.
of like a bull shark.
Screw
just
that,
in-
man.
Yeah.
Shark.
That's what
fire.
you think of when you think of a shark.
Yeah, just haggard teeth, dead eyes.
The eyes look stupid on this one.
I know. It looks like a Facebook profile picture that was staged.
It's like an emo shark.
All right, look natural.
Well, yeah, it's one of those like this would be a MySpace picture for sure.
Oh
And
man.
it would have the caption "random pick" or what do they call it when it's like a totally random, not planned.
I don't know.
Oh,
I know what
word.
you're talking about
Candid.
though.
Candid, yeah, candid shot. Good God, sharks are terrifying. Do you guys remember 2 or it might have been 3 summers ago now? All the shark attacks that were happening off the coast of North Carolina.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
crazy, man.
Yeah.
Good times.
Oh yeah.
Every time I went to the beach, pretty much every time, I saw fins, but they turned out to be dolphins. I would see the fins, and I still got out of the water immediately, and then I would keep watching them, and it turned out to be dolphins. So it led me to believe, like, maybe there was some validity in Flipper. Maybe those things do come around just to defend us.
Well, aren't dolphins aggressive too? To where they'll force themselves on you sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know if they do that to humans, but there definitely has been documented dolphin rape.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's an unfortunate. I mean, but they're like the second smartest species on the planet. I'm pretty sure behind
Sharks?
humans. No, dolphins.
Oh okay.
Sharks are dumb as hell, man. But
Stupid.
and octopus too. I think octopus and squid maybe, but either one of the two.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
I know octopus. They can fit into like any space.
Yeah,
Holes
it's
that
a
can break out.
Yeah,
It's a video-
camouflage.
of that octopus on somebody's ship, and he goes. It's like the tiniest crack.
Yeah.
Like it's a pretty big octopus.
Yeah.
And he just squeezes through there and just gets out.
And then you just don't even notice them. I love
That's
those
it.
videos where it's compilations of trying to pick out where the octopus is, and it's like it's always something that looks like it's obviously an octopus, but then the octopus is way over here.
Mm.
Dude,
Those
I
things
saw-
are crazy.
I saw a video where they like dissected a live octopus, so they like cut the head
mean?
open, and yeah,
Oh,
but they like
dude.
pulled it out, and it was basically it looked
Another
like
octopus.
no, that's exactly what it was. They pulled out. It was just like imagine if you had like a bean bag, and inside the colored like felt or whatever is just the regular bean bag. That's what it was like. It was they just pulled out a
Whoa.
pure white like skeleton, but it wasn't a skeleton. It was all flesh.
Cartilage.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It was so cool looking and
Oh
creepy.
man, that's wild. My girlfriend and I went to Little Dipper the other night at the fondue place, and they have a jellyfish tank. So we were looking up a bunch of stuff about jellyfish. Jellyfish are crazy, man. They've been
Awesome.
around for so long.
Yeah.
They have 4 stomachs,
Yep.
no brain.
Just chilling.
Some species of jellyfish grow algae in their stomach to have a constant food supply. It's crazy. Yeah, so that's jellyfish talk.
Jellyfish.
So the bull shark washed up. Do you guys remember that fake photo that was going around after Hurricane Sandy, I think, in New York and New Jersey? I
Of
think it
what?
was Sandy, of a shark swimming through the street
Oh.
that they proved to be fake. And there was also another fake photo of a shark in the subway station after Sandy.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure both were proved to be fake.
Just a dude with a fin on his back. Is that what it was? And a GoPro.
Do you guys remember those toys?
Oh my gosh. Oh
where you had
man.
the shark goggles with
Yeah,
the fin
the fin.
and the flappers? The flippers?
Yeah, the flippers. They had gloves. I think
Uh-huh.
you can they even had something you could put on your back
Yep.
too. Like that.
Yep.
That was looked ridiculous. I seen somebody
was.
putting it on at the public pool. I was like, you look corny. Like,
That's fun.
That was, I mean, in the commercial, they always made it out to be like, oh, scare your friends, be.
yeah, nah, you look
Yeah,
ridiculous.
you just look
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I
Everyone
had
knows.
the sad one where I was the killer whale with the fin over, bringing attention to SeaWorld.
You were an orca.
Yeah, I was about to say that only happens when they're in captivity, right?
Only the males too. Yeah.
Huh.
I made them. I avoided blackfish for a long time, but I watched it the other day. I was bawling my eyes out.
Yeah.
All right, I didn't know what you were talking about for a second. What do you mean blackfish you were avoiding?
You meant shark?
Oh, no,
I like, what are you? I avoided
Shark
blackfish
tails.
until about a week week ago. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah,
So that's a show?
No, it's a movie. It's
It's
a
a
documentary
movie?
about SeaWorld, all the stuff they did.
Oh, okay,
all the
okay,
people that used
okay.
to work there came out about all the abuse. and
It's
stuff.
horrible, man. Yeah, I heard a lot about it, and I didn't watch it for a while, but I watched it 2 or 3 years ago, and it really is rough because
Yeah.
it just shows you like the type of captivity they keep these animals in
Yeah.
for all their lives. It's rough.
It's a video like that on Facebook about lions. Like these lions that you can take pictures with, but like how like rough the handlers like keep them. Like you can see like they're just very irritated, like they don't want to be bothered and whatnot.
Yeah.
So people are messed up, man.
I think Joe Rogan put it great. Like zoos are pretty messed up for most animals.
Yeah.
But then for like giraffes, it's great.
You're just chilling. That's it.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
now-
Joe Rogan's bit is like, yeah, the giraffe's just like another day with no lions.
That's it.
I love it.
Oh, I saw the giraffe is about to give birth.
Well,
They're very certain.
She's
okay.
late.
That's what they've said for 3 or 4 weeks now.
They're like, she is coming. What if it's just a big old kidney stone or like a big old poop?
It's crazy how much of a phenomenon that is. Like every time I go to YouTube, that's the #1 video. It always has like at least 70,000 viewers just waiting for this giraffe to give birth. And like I didn't even know with giraffes it was that big a deal. I know pandas don't reproduce that often, but
They're not very sexually active, the pandas.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what they're looking at. They're like, another dude. I'm just going to keep eating.
Oh, man.
Was it Jim Jeffries who did that great bit about how he's like, don't save the panda. If they're not willing to have sex, because they put males and females together, if they're not willing to have sex, then that's their problem.
Somebody could light a candle for them. I mean, God, gotta set the mood.
Play some Marvin Gaye.
Some Teddy Pendergrass.
Yeah, yeah.
Pendergrass.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I know that bit, but I can't remember. I don't think it was Jim Jeffries. I've actually never watched a Jim Jeffries special.
Oh, Jim Jeffries is great.
That's what I always hear,
He's
yeah.
actually probably my favorite current comedian.
And he's like pretty dirty, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
The giraffe stream is sponsored by Toys R Us.
Uh-huh.
Nice. That's great marketing. Good
with,
for them.
With Jeffrey sticking out of the R.
Good for them.
Does Jeffrey have Down syndrome now? What happened to him?
Uh-oh.
He doesn't look okay.
Could it be an inclusive?
Somebody needs to give him some water.
The logo. By the way, let me just say, I saw Beauty and the Beast over the weekend with my girlfriend for her birthday, and I was really impressed by how inclusive they were. They had like same-sex couples, they had tons of interracial couples. Like it was really progressive of Disney, and not in a way that was just like overt. Like, hey, look.
They
at
just
how...
they just threw it in there, like
Yeah.
it was actually done pretty well.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Believable.
Because it took place in France, and as far as I know, France never really had many race issues. So it was.
Well, it's weird because we say that, but then I think of God, what was the period where the French like hated Africans? It was around the time, I think it was around the time Heart of Darkness came out.
Yeah, because France and Africa did have like a military type thing going on. So I mean, that's not to say that they never had racial tension there, but they never had slavery, as far as I know, and they didn't have sort of the lasting implications of racial inequality that America has. But anyway,
I think there's a lower population of black people, though, I assume, in France.
yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
And
More percentages to look up.
Yeah, we always talk about stuff we have no idea.
yeah, and that's. I mean, what do you expect? We're millennials. That's our hallmark. So, in more pop culture news, we have an article written
It
with.
sounds like you're eating or
I'm
something.
trying to get this back. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. I'm trying to not move it at all, but it's very difficult.
Do you need more tape?
Yeah, I need.
Do you have any duct tape I can
geez.
put on his body?
We should just get like actual wax and
Yeah.
fix it with that, and then rip it off.
I feel I got it for now. I got it till the next break.
So this article is titled "Darwin was a slacker, and you should be too." And I guess I'm the only person who read the article.
Yeah, afraid so.
So it basically just talks about how a lot of the influential people who we think of, Charles Dickens, Charles Darwin, it says Henry Poincaré, and Ingmar Bergman, which I don't know who
And of
either
course
of
we
those
know
guys
Edison
are.
was
I know
stealing.
Ingmar Bergman, huge filmmaker, I believe, during the was it the Czech New Wave? I forget.
Okay,
Ingmar
interesting.
Bergman was in
Bill's weighing in.
Squad.
But anyway, it talks about the relationship that they had with rest and how they had a very balanced work versus relaxation schedule. And the article is quick to point out that they don't have as many distractions in terms of television, smartphones, the internet, things like that. But it's pretty encouraging because I feel like for most people our age, a lot of people in our generations, we feel like the only way to be successful, to do anything groundbreaking, is to constantly have your nose to the grindstone. Just constantly be working. Like me, I have a terrible complex where I feel guilty if I'm doing anything that isn't like work related. I can't take naps.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can't,
like
I
it's something
don't
else
feel
I could
bad
be
about that at
doing.
all.
Yeah.
I'm with Cindy.
I wish
have-
that I was that way. I cannot
Yeah,
relax.
Even if I have a day off, it's like, well, what should I be taking care of
Yeah.
now that I won't have to worry about in the future?
And like
Well-
even if I am, sorry to interrupt, but even if
I
I
hear
am like lying on the couch, or if I set aside time to relax, I always end up pulling up emails or working on a chart or
Yes.
something like that.
I've kind of like realized me personally, as soon as I get home, as much as I want to work on something, like I'm not, because that's like my safe space of like
Yeah,
I'm not doing
It's supposed
anything.
to be relaxation time.
Like I'm just
yeah.
chilling. But I mean, haven't they always said like usually the smartest people like super lazy?
Yeah, and that's what this article is going on to say, and it's not necessarily lazy. It's just I feel like these people have like a higher level of thinking because they know that they have to balance it out to
Yeah.
be at their fullest.
I feel like I have a weird combination of the two. It's where when I get home, I don't do anything, but the entire time I'm stressed out.
That you're not
I got
doing
other stuff
anything.
to do.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, like you said, with your goal, which is stand-up comedy, relaxing kind of helps with that because it gives you time to free your head and think of more concepts and stuff.
Sure.
Of course, you could make the argument that it would be better to have experiences and have an actual life, Tyler. I'm just kidding.
Well, you have to spend time alone when you're.
You are drunk
comedian.
dad right now. You're in a robe. You're drinking. You're being really
At 9:30
passive.
in the morning, yeah.
Boy, gonna grab me another beer.
Why don't you do something useful with your life for once, boy?
Still
But no, I
telling
mean,
them dirty jokes.
I think that is a good use of your time to actually relax. And so you were saying that you still do have like a sort of guilt complex, though.
Kind of. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
Like other people worry about it a lot more, but
Almost look more like you're beating yourself up a little bit because you
Yeah.
feel like you be doing
Right.
something. Yeah.
I'm fine.
Even my when I like want to watch a movie or something, and half the time, I'd say most of the time now, it's because I feel like I need to watch it to keep up with.
Yeah.
So you can do this show.
Yeah.
You know what's going on.
Think about it, like I'm so behind on a bunch of television shows, and I'm behind on podcasts, as Sydney was saying earlier. I don't have the time to watch everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be something I really care about, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm invested in that. If they come out with a new Harry Potter thing, I'm already so far along in those
Yeah.
that I'd watch another one of them.
I stopped really caring about keeping up with all that stuff because now you can, whether you want to do it legally or illegally, like you can get it to whenever you
Illegally or
want.
What?
Illegally? Illegally? Is that a word?
Yeah.
But y'all get the gist of what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether you're supposed to be doing it, whether you're not supposed to be doing it, like I can go back to it whenever I want.
Yeah.
So I do that with music now and with television or anime or anything that might come out.
Yeah.
I'll gladly sit and wait, and then that helps me form my own opinion.
And then you get to have that weird conversation. Have you heard this? And people are like, dude, that's so old.
Yeah.
I don't care, but I don't really care anymore. Like I told somebody, I listened to Travis Scott's first album that came out like 3 years ago for the first time, like 3 months ago. And he was like, "Where have you been at?" And I was like, "I just didn't feel the need to listen to it
I like
immediately."
when people bring up stuff like that because it sort of rehashes it in my mind and lets me talk about it with them who have a fresh take on it.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Nostalgic.
you're right. We don't really have to rush to keep up with anything. 'cause
there.
It's all at our fingertips.
It's right there, man. Just relax.
The only things that I do like keep up with are podcasts, just because throughout my day, generally, whether I'm like grocery shopping, running errands in the car, or at work,
A lot
in
of
my
times you're doing
warehouse
topical
job.
stuff that's going on right then.
Yeah, I can
so-
just have my earbuds in and it doesn't pose a problem, as opposed to having to sit down in front of the TV or anything like that. Like the Path on Hulu is the only show that I've watched consistently because it releases one episode a week. So I watch that every Wednesday, but that's pretty much the only show that I'm able to keep up with right now, other than podcasts.
You know what's bizarre is that as much as I love binge watching, now I watch shows one episode at a time, or like I watch them when they air, because I find that easier to keep up with. Right now I love a lot of CW, or a couple CW shows, especially like Riverdale, and I find it really easy to keep up with because it comes out once a week. And I can just dedicate like an hour,
Yeah.
eat some food, and see, that's the other thing. Half the time when I'm watching stuff now, I have to mix it with eating something. I can't watch something without eating something because then I'm wasting time in my mind.
I can't eat something without watching something.
Yeah. I like,
Oh, that I agree with, 100%.
and honestly, I really have a hard time eating for whatever reason. It's just a weird trick my body plays on me, unless I'm either working while I'm eating or watching something while I'm eating. Like I have
you
to
can't just be eating.
Yeah, like I have to take my mind off the fact that I'm eating. Otherwise, I like psych myself out. And I don't know, man. I have a weird relationship with food. As you can tell, I have the frame of a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
I have no problem eating though. I just have a super high metabolism.
This little child, maybe 4 years old, was like riding on it. Like that's how big it was. Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes. Yeah. A housebroken anaconda.
Holy
It's
cow.
insane. Yeah.
Yeah, it always blows my mind when people have snakes as pets.
My dad had a snake. We had a python.
Yeah?
Named it Juliet. I guess he thought it was sweet, but it was pretty chill.
I can't deal with the tongue. That little tongue thing they do where they're just sticking it out so fast and pulling it back in. I can't handle
They're
that.
sensing.
Isn't that how they smell?
Yeah, but I don't like it. Like, smell with the nose, not with your freaking creepy forked tongue.
They can't help the way they were born, Tanner. Okay.
Coming from the guy who was who had his transgender opinion last week.
They can't help the way they were born. We're not going to get into that right now.
But snakes, the main thing that creeps me out is when they slither. I can't, you know, you've ever been to the fair and they put the big old snake on you?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
I can't stand feeling the muscles move the way they do when they slither. It's like, I also don't like holding fish out of water because they're just
Yeah,
so...
it's too similar to human touch, and I can't have that.
It just reminds me too much of intimacy. Just the way that their muscles move to make them slither, it creeps me out to my core. And like I said, I think that that's like an evolutionary thing where humans for a long time have known, just don't screw with these things.
Well, yeah, if you put a snake in front of a baby, it's like scared, and even if it's never seen a snake, it's like embedded in our DNA apparently.
Ah.
So get this. I'm looking at the article. According to the Smithsonian's National Zoo, through all of its range in India to Indonesia, the king cobra causes fewer than 5 human deaths a year, about 1/5 as many as caused by rattlesnakes in North America.
Wow. Well, it's probably because people over there are honestly like more compassionate, and that's
Well,
even
they know what they're dealing with.
yeah,
too.
that's not the word I'm looking for. They're more sort of in tune with nature and everything.
Well,
They
there's
don't-
also a video of a dude in India who's like pimp slapping a bunch of cobras like.
Oh, yeah. It was like just a den full of them.
And they're all coming up to him. He's just like.
One just hits. He's like, what? He was like,
I
just
remember
smacked it.
that. Yeah. It's crazy to me how, I mean, I guess there's some sort of, I don't know if it's actually the flutes that do it or if there's some sort of visual thing, but snake charming is just so wild to me how they get them in that trance, you know? And who knows if it's legitimate or not.
It's magic. Confirmed. It's magic. I looked it up.
Shaman type stuff. But either way, you know, I thought this video was pretty incredible. Truthfully, you know, this is the way that we're gonna have to start interacting with animals. We can't just keep killing everything that poses a threat to us.
Why
I
not?
disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because we talked about it the other day, you know, snakes are around for a purpose. They kill mice and other small vermin that destroy crops. They give people diseases,
I'm
just
not
like
saying-
spiders.
I'm not saying wipe them out, but I'm saying if one's in my house.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if it's in your house, posing like, you know, if your family is threatened. But out here, this is the snake's environment, you know.
Yeah, when we were kids, we found a snake in my friend's garage, and they beat it to death with a baseball bat. What do
Oh,
you say to that?
jeez.
My grandparents like to chop the heads off with shovels, flat tip shovels.
Yeah, I mean, if I had like a snake, actually we did have this is a pretty cool story. I was cleaning out the garage one time.
Ooh, fascinating.
It better be. There's so much buildup.
As all great stories start, I was cleaning out the garage one time, and I went to move what I thought was a toy snake, like curled up, you know, and I was about half a foot away from it, and it flicked its tongue out, and I immediately started freaking out. I ran in to get my mom, and we got out there, and a friend of mine who was there got a garden hoe and twirled it up like spaghetti, and just flung it out into the field behind our house. A couple years later, we found a snake skin hanging in the ceiling of our laundry room. Yeah, so it was probably that same one coming
Shoulda
back to
killed him.
vengeance. Yeah, I know, yeah. So if it's in your house, if it's posing a direct threat, you know, of course, I say
It just wants water, guys.
take the head off. But I mean, like I said, this is the cobra's environment out here. You're not in a house.
He's in their village.
Yeah, but the village, you know, if he was in a hut, I could see it. But he's out in the wild. He just happened to stumble upon, you know, the dirt paths that they were on. I'd say that's
their
the
streets.
I'd say that's the cobra's territory.
I don't know. They bought it and paid for it.
You
Yeah,
think so?
Cobra's not paying any money.
Yeah.
So that's the way you wanna handle your humanitarian views.
I
Whoever's
don't
paying
extend
rent.
humanitarian views to non-humans.
You don't think that we can treat animals humanely?
I think we can. We put them in a zoo, let the giraffes have babies, film them. There, that's humanely.
I
Make a
disagree
profit off it.
on the point of
Noses.
humanely versus going out of your way to give him water. He's not being a very good snake. This is natural selection. If he can't find water,
That is one way to look at it. Yeah. But maybe by them, increasing this snake's lifespan, it'll save them all from getting some sort of deadly
He might
disease.
be the Darwin of snakes, a lazy snake who was resting too much.
I want to hear the follow-up to this village in about 2 weeks when that snake has bitten somebody and they've died.
Nah, that snake went and got his snake friends and like, yo, we about to take over this village, son. Like,
He spotted
so
weakness.
weak.
Yeah.
This is totally the Spider-Man origin where he lets the robber get away who kills Uncle Ben.
ah, man.
Yep. Then we're gonna have Cobra Man. Is that a character?
Cobra Man?
There's
yeah.
Copperhead.
There's Copperhead.
Copperhead
Yeah.
and there's the Serpent Society, but I don't think there's Cobra Man.
Well, there's gotta be. Okay, well, let's go ahead and I'm gonna put a verbal trademark on the superhero name King Cobra.
You got
That one must-
date,
I feel like
date,
that-
time, address.
There's Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai, yeah.
Who's Cobra Kai?
And then there's
G.I. Joe.
Oh, okay.
no. Cobra Kai is
Not the Karate Kid. Yeah.
Oh.
That's the name of the-
Cobra
Is
G.I.
that's right.
Joe.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
There was
I've
this-
never watched the Karate Kid, either version.
What?
Yeah, never seen it.
Daniel's son?
only seen the old one. It's good.
Yeah, never had that experience with the wax on.
In the
myself.
remastered He-Man show, there was a snake themed
Did
villain.
they remake He-Man?
Yeah, like in 2003, when like it was like a new
I'm
Transformers.
pretty sure they're gonna do a live action Masters of the Universe.
Leave it alone,
They
man.
already did.
Leave it
remember?
alone.
Lundgren, man.
Oh yeah. But they're of course revamping it in a whole universe type thing. They're
No.
gonna have a Skeletor.
No, that's one of those things. It's just I don't see it working.
Yeah, I mean that one. I think really the time has already passed.
Yeah, you're trying.
Yeah.
He-Man, you know what's weird? A lot of those cartoons back then, they don't hold up. Some of them hold up either nostalgically or at least like, well, this was better than it had any right to be, like, say, Transformers or Ninja Turtles. He-Man's one of those where you look back at it, it's like, nope, it was never good.
Okay,
So-
one thing I can say about He-Man. I grew up on He-Man and Thundercats. I love He-Man. But I did try to go back and watch it. It does not hold up. But He-Man never actually attacks Skeletor. He'll make like a tornado with his sword. There was I think like the first episode of He-Man, like Skeletor's like hanging off a cliff, and he helps him back up. He won't kill. So I think it's like kind of a
Batman Joker type relationship.
yeah. Well, I don't know. I think it's kind of a good
I heard-
message to like send out to kids, like not being actually violent, like striking and stuff like that. I don't think they were kind of mindful in that sense.
Gotcha.
Because
yeah.
now stuff's just violent.
I haven't looked back at it, but I heard that the '90s Spider-Man cartoon, he doesn't actually physically like put his hands on anybody. He
I
just
can
uses
see that.
webbing.
I
Like
can see that,
every
yeah.
villain he's fighting is he webs them in some type of way, and that's how he
Yeah.
defeats them. He doesn't kick or he doesn't punch.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Man, I just got so nostalgic thinking of the theme song for that old Spider-Man and the
Mm.
intro, where
Yeah.
it's like the intro, looked like super futuristic, and then the animation itself wasn't all that, splendid.
Dude, there's a clip online. I might have to pull it up when we're on break, but there's just this clip online where in 3.5 minutes, that Spider-Man cartoon goes through about an entire season of plot development. That show is so insanely fast-paced. I'm blown away that anyone can follow it.
I don't remember anything from it, so I don't know if I ever did follow it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that Jimmy brought up a good point. I was going to ask, which would you guys prefer to see, a live-action Masters of the Universe or live-action Thundercats?
Thundercats.
They've
Yeah.
already like kind
You
of.
gotta go Thundercats.
That's
Yeah.
at least a more unique look. Although
Nah.
I will say, I'd rather see Skeletor.
Nah.
I love Skeletor.
I just want to see the live-action Snarf, whatever his name is.
They would have a bunch of like Avatar looking people, like
Yeah.
the James
Yeah,
Cameron
that's
looking.
true. Chitara.
I don't know how well
You can pull up some images. People have already like tried
Fan
to like
film.
yeah,
Like,
fan
render it?
film. Yeah, render some stuff. It's kind of funny.
I bet it would look freaky if it wasn't done super professional.
that's what I'm saying. Like you're treading
Yeah.
like that thin line right there. Like
Yeah. But yeah, I
Okay.
mean, all those, I don't think there's really a point in trying to revamp those shows from the 70s. Because, I mean, that
There is
generation.
a point. Money.
Yeah,
That's the only point.
but do you think that it would make money?
The remake wasn't that successful. The
Yeah.
remake of the Thundercats cartoon,
Oh,
which
they
is
did an
almost
animated?
it was almost like anime style, and it was kind of cool. But it lasted like a season and a half.
People were saying apparently that was like critically beloved. They're like, oh my god, they made Thundercats good, but no one watched it.
Yeah,
Huh.
I watched the first couple of episodes. I think it started getting stupid, like after the 5th or 6th episode. But the first episode was kind of like the first episode of the original Thundercats. You kind of got like a good origin story of how they came to be. So it felt, nostalgic in that sense. But it just didn't hold up.
What
over
was
time.
it? The Eye of Mumrod or something like
The
that?
Eye of Thundera.
Oh, okay. Eye of Thunder.
Eye of Thunder and the Sword of Omens, and he would put it up and he'd give me sight beyond
Thunder.
sight.
Yeah.
Thunder.
Get images and view. It was a good concept.
I remember watching that in between like Johnny Quest and all that type of stuff.
that show, man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Which they are doing, not a live action, but they're bringing back Johnny Quest. Or no, we were talking about the graphic novel. where they're
Future
doing.
Quest, where it's Johnny Quest, Space Ghost, like all of them teaming up.
What?
Yeah, Future. Hold on, I'll pull up an image. But Future Quest.
This is
yeah,
a good
it's-
segment into nerd culture,
Yeah,
isn't
honestly, let's move into nerd.
Well, yeah, I
culture
mean
first.
this has all pretty much been nerd culture. But before we really dive into it, let's let Tyler give us the details on our first
Let's
giveaway.
back up 20 minutes
it? Yeah.
before we do. Yes, I have. Sadly, there's a comic book store going out of business in Chapel Hill, but lucky enough for us, got some super cheap comic books. All of them were about everything in the store was 75% off, and every graphic novel was buy two get one free. And I picked up in honor of our Kick-Ass first week.
Aha!
Nice.
Kick-Ass, the first volume. They did not have volume 2, so I picked up volume 1 and 3. It's going to be very frustrating to somebody. So I was thinking, we're going to put a whole bunch of names into a hat and pick out a winner. But you have to be following us on Twitter. And not everybody that follows us, that's not going to, but you have to be following us to be entered. And we're going to post a link on the Twitter and on Facebook. And if you retweet it or share it, you can get a maximum of 5 entries a week.
Cool. That works.
And everybody who shares it gets a chance to win the Kick-Ass graphic novel. And we're going to have new graphic novels about every 2 weeks. And the first giveaway is going to be on April 14th. And we have Ben from Memory Lane coming in to help us give that away. It's a local
Perfect.
comic book store.
Perfect. And that'll be right around the time that Memory Lane is moving downtown, right?
Right, correct.
Hell yeah, we'll be able to talk about that. Exciting stuff.
Also, for people, I mean, Kick-Ass was a really cool graphic novel. I actually remember reading it in 10th grade. I had the hardcover, and I passed that around to other students. That was like a thing. Like, it was like we weren't supposed to read it because it was dirty and it was in class, but like we all read it and then we all were talking about it. It was just a cool thing I remember from 10th grade that made me slightly popular. Like, slightly. I had friends. I suddenly had friends.
You should have dressed like you are today. You would have been really
I
popular.
bet I would have been. I would have been unique and special.
Nice. So that is our giveaway. So every time you retweet, your name will be entered in. So up to 5 times a week, you can do that. You can win this. Tyler,
Maximum of 1 entry a day, just so it doesn't get like ridiculous.
Hey,
and everything spread out.
I got the live feed going on Facebook.
Okay.
Cody asks, "Why do you sound so raspy right now?"
Because I talk a lot. I talk too much. I wouldn't say I'm sick, but there's like allergies going on. It's kind of messing with my
Word.
throat, my vocal cords.
Yeah, allergies suck.
Thank Cody for checking in. I appreciate it.
Yes, he was a little concerned.
yeah, thank you anyone who's checking us out, whether it's on the Facebook live stream or on YouTube. We definitely appreciate you guys.
How many people watching do you have?
Just one right
Oh,
now.
okay.
A lot of people joined in, but
Then they saw me.
don't expect them to just sit around and just watch me. But yeah,
We have triple that on the YouTube. So
Solid.
nice.
Just last thing before we move on to nerd culture, I just want to show Gerard. If you look at the screen, this is Future Quest, the current comic book.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's I've heard nothing but good things.
Oh, they got the monkey too.
Mm-hmm.
Birdman's.
Oh yeah. They've got well, it's written by Jeff Parker, who's a writer noted for just embracing the fun in things, not taking the comic books like too dark and serious. So I personally don't have a lot of nostalgia for these properties, but I imagine for those who do, this is an amazing series.
What were they called? The people off to the right on that green
That
rhinoceros.
was, oh man.
The Thunder
the
something?
Orcs, the like, they were from the prehistoric times.
Yeah, you had the rock god.
Man.
Come on, Bill, you got it.
Only guy I recognize is Space Ghost.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Johnny Quest.
Hanna Barbera. Thunderians.
Thunder, no,
I think
no,
just
no,
because
no,
we talked
no,
about
you're right,
Thundercats.
close, though.
Nah, it's something Thunder, I believe. Or
It's prehistoric.
Yeah, I don't. We
Space.
should probably
The
move on.
Herculoid.
Herculoids.
That's it.
Herculoids, yeah.
That was it. Yeah, okay, cool. So they're bringing all
How
this
come they're so
together.
skinny?
Well, this has been going on for about like a couple months. This has been a thing.
Okay.
Well, it was Saturday morning in 1969.
Saturday morning
Wow.
in 1969.
That was the comic.
All, only thing they missing is the Blue Falcon.
There.
Painting the picture.
And they actually just did I think published Wednesday, they did a team up between Green Lantern and Space Ghost.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Huh. So has Space Ghost been a long established DC property?
Well, no, it's not DC. It's that DC or Warner Brothers, who owns DC, bought the Hanna-Barbera property.
Okay.
So that's why Warner Brothers. That's why they can have. Actually, they have a book published a lot called Scooby-Doo Team Up, where Scooby-Doo teams up with DC superheroes.
Einstein Jr.
Who?
You know what,
Frankenstein
Jimmy?
Jr.
You know what, man?
No, I think it's great, but it's just funny. I'm just like stuff. I'm just not. I have no idea.
They used to run this stuff like early or like midday. So if you were a kid, you had nothing to do, you was watching Cartoon Network. They would run like Herculoids, or if you were lucky to have Boomerang,
Yeah.
and you would see like all of these old cartoons and
You remember
whatnot.
Cow and Chicken?
Oh man,
Yeah.
that was a weird show.
Very weird.
Very weird show.
I'm about to pull up the Scooby-Doo reboot that is not as well received.
It's a comic book.
Yeah, and it's called Scooby Apocalypse.
It looks cool.
It's and yeah.
The Flintstones one is like drawn really super serious
Dude,
too.
apparently the Flintstones one is amazing. Like I'm stoked to read it because everyone talks about how great it is.
Whoa.
What are they like,
Wow.
Ghostbusters?
Yeah, basically.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I'm not.
Shaggy,
Yeah, Shaggy
looks
looks
like a
like
hipster. He's got a man bag. His
Wow.
beard.
He looks French.
Velma looks like Spider-Man.
Does he have tattoos? Does he have a?
Yeah, he does.
Jesus.
I didn't do anything.
Maybe the batteries died or something like that.
Shaggy's got
I
a
think the battery
sleeve.
side. I got no light on here.
It's like Scooby Doo meets Stranger Things, kinda.
It does look like that.
It does indeed, yeah. Well, it's already time for our third break, so we'll go ahead and add another segment on today. We'll take our break. We'll get new batteries for Tanner. We'll jump back into nerd culture, and then we'll take one more break and play some games, guys. So stick with us. We'll be doing a long show today. We're having fun, drinking beer in our pajamas. Hopefully you guys are enjoying watching. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. Take it easy till then. It's March 31st. This is Prime Nation Radio. We're back from our third and would-be final break, but we're probably going to extend the show because we're having a lot of fun. Let's continue on in nerd culture. We didn't get around to any of our topics because we had so much fun talking about cobras and kick-ass.
Cobras.
Doing cartwheels over here, having so much fun.
So, Tanner, you are probably the most knowledgeable about Destiny 2. You
Yes.
wanna fill us in on that?
So Destiny 2 trailer came out yesterday, and it is it's actually almost everything I hate about. It really is, man. Do you have it pulled up on your screen?
Yeah.
Okay. It's just about everything I don't like in video game trailers, where it's just way too try hard. It's trying so hard to be cool. Basically, it just shows two perspectives: this cool guy, or this weird looking guy leading this group of soldiers, and then it cuts to a goofier version where he's giving a similar speech, but it's not that one where it's not going as good. It's just way too try hard. It's all CG. It doesn't reveal anything.
Yeah, there's no gameplay.
It doesn't reveal jack about the game, except the release date. And I just felt like this trailer was kind of a waste.
So after having played the first one, are these characters continue from the first one? Are they...
None in this trailer. This trailer, I believe, they're just all like player avatars you would make.
Okay.
I mean, personally, I'll probably still get it because I did like Destiny 1 enough, but this trailer doesn't actually increase my hype. In fact, my concern is, again, this trailer is so try-hard that I wonder if they learned anything from Destiny 1 at all. Any of the negative reception. Again, good, solid game, but even just this trailer being so similar to the other ones makes me wonder if they're just going to do the same thing over again.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it looks like they're creating a pretty expansive universe, but all these people are character types that were available in Destiny 1?
Yeah, Destiny has a cool universe. Like, the designs of everything is really interesting. I actually really enjoyed that. I love that this goofy guy, I'll admit, I do love that he's a robot with a very human, goofy personality, which is something Destiny kind of did really well. But again, this trailer just doesn't do anything for me. It's just what I don't like. I don't like these CG trailers that reveal nothing.
Yeah. Well, it's still pretty early in the process. When does it come out? Do you know?
September.
Oh.
Exactly. That's kind of why it
Yeah.
was like, wait, this comes out in September and you're not going to just show...
I mean,
how it plays?
I see this as a way of just baiting you, as far as like just to give you a little taste, and then the next trailer they might show some gameplay, like
Oh, I have no doubt they will, but it just seems... I don't know.
a waste.
Yeah, personally. I think they could have made the hype a bit bigger by actually showing something that's going to be new in the game as opposed to the first. I think that's how...
Well, they got us talking about it, so they did something right.
Yeah.
True.
How's
Yeah.
how's the gameplay? Did the people that work on Halo work on
Yeah.
this?
It's very Halo-like as
Because
far
people
as
told me it feels like that, and Halo was the last video game I really got into.
Yeah,
Well,
it's very Halo-esque, and actually, the gameplay is rock solid. The
Okay.
gameplay is really good. It's everything around the game that isn't. It's almost like I wish you could just take that gameplay and give it to someone who would make a more interesting world or like environments and stuff. But yeah, it is. Also, we brought it up because it was, I think, the biggest original IP to launch in history in entertainment.
Yeah, it was.
Because they had the Halo developer's name on it.
They made over 500 million the first day.
Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so,
crazy.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, so this is a big deal. I mean, to have a sequel to that game. But I am curious. I don't think it's going to sell as well as the first, which is unique to video game sequels. Usually they're kind of video game sequels are kind of notable for being unlike movies where it's like, oh, sequel's never as good as the original.
Well,
Video games are like they improve the gameplay. They take the feedback and improve, so they're able to make it better. I'm just curious if this one will also be able to do that.
Well, now they seem to focus on really selling on extra content, expandable content,
In fact,
add-ons and whatnot.
Alongside
Yeah.
from Tank.
Yeah,
can
and
you actually pull up that trailer again and skip to near the end?
I'm on it.
because that's what they did for the original one, where they said they messed up. It was like the game didn't get good until you had the add-ons, until about a year or two in
Yeah,
to really
that's what Tanner
expand
was
it.
saying about
Like it's just
Well, and near the end of this trailer, it says like that. Skip a bit before where you are right now. Go like 20 seconds before, I think. And it ends with like pre-order now and get this bonus or whatever.
that's a selling point.
Yeah, and it's just another case of like they didn't even show. It's just weird to do that when you don't even show any gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, it is weird to me that they decided to go with like a full-on cinematic type trailer that doesn't show any gameplay, doesn't even show you what the gameplay would look like. It's like they're just making a little mini movie for it.
Yeah, and again, I don't think it's a very good one.
Yeah.
I'll give credit. The best CG trailer for me was Assassin's Creed 2 because that game CG trailer actually revealed a lot of stuff you could do in that game that was different from the first game. It actually showed the assassin doing stuff that you couldn't do in the first game. And then when we showed gameplay, it's like, oh, they were fine.
You're gonna get to give speeches, rally your troops.
Oh my
See
god,
that?
I've been waiting for this
What's
game.
that?
That would be hilarious if that's the new selling point is instead of actually doing the fighting, you're just the one who rallies the troops. You have to pick which dialogue lines you want to use.
All right, guys, which planet are we gonna go
It's like
to?
the Telltale version of Destiny.
No, if they
Oh,
make it like
gosh.
one of those Japanese dating simulators, but with these
Uh-oh.
Destiny characters, I'm so on board.
Huh. All right. Maybe you should get on that.
oh man.
I have a development software for visual novels like that, and I haven't made anything yet. I really want to do a game called Gay Space Marines, where it's just all of the Space Marines from video games, and they're all super gay, and like you just make love to whoever you want.
Wow.
Yeah, we downloaded some pretty sweet animation software, so we have that capability
Oh, okay.
if you want to start playing around with
Yeah,
it.
I'll keep that in mind.
Whew.
Tanner,
What, Tyler?
Why don't you just play Mass Effect?
Nothing,
You
just
just
checking
choose
in.
whatever you want. That's it. Mass Effect, you can have whatever love interest you want. But go ahead, Sydney.
I was just gonna say, moving on to Batgirl, unless we have anything else to say about Destiny.
No, we're good.
So moving on to Batgirl, they have announced DC keeps putting more movies on their slate without even knowing if it's going to pay off because Wonder Woman is yet to release, Aquaman is yet to release, Justice League is yet to release. They haven't had anything that's really solidified the DC Cinematic Universe, and yet they've announced Nightwing. Now they just announced Batgirl.
well, Suicide Squad made money.
Oh, they both made money, but
they
critically,
weren't received well.
yeah,
If I could
critically.
sell turds for $35 a piece,
You do it, yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, I mean, these studio heads are definitely not losing sleep. It's just the fans who are impacted. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're dumb enough to keep doing it, like I didn't see Batman vs Superman, I'm not gonna get the money for
Dude,
that.
I'm so with you. Like, you don't have to see these things.
Yeah.
It's weird that people feel like they have an obligation. You don't have to do it.
I didn't see Man of Steel. I didn't see Batman vs Superman. I didn't see Suicide Squad because I hear they're all bad.
mhm.
And it's this easy to just sit here and not go to the movies and watch it.
Dude,
But-
like, it sounds like a common thing, but a lot of people feel like they have to see these movies.
And I'm more DC than I am Marvel.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I-
do you
DC
not,
has way
do you
better
not
stories.
Think that maybe you have a different take on it. You might appreciate it in a way that other people didn't.
What do you mean?
Like,
You might hate it more.
I mean, and I'm not saying this just to be critical, but it's just like if you're basing it just on what the other people's opinions of it are, then there might be a gem in there that you like. Like for instance, the Batman fighting scene in Batman vs Superman that made the movie for me. I don't care about anything else in the movie because I got to see Batman kicking ass in the way that I've always wanted to see him kick
Yeah.
ass.
$20.
It was definitely worth admission price. I would have paid admission price just for that 4-minute clip.
No, I disagree.
Yeah, I look at the thing as a whole. I look like, is this worth my whole $20? Did I enjoy the film overall?
But you didn't watch it though.
Right, and I don't think I will. I take critic reviews as, kind of a good jumping off point.
Yeah.
I've watched. seen enough reviews, like star ratings averaged out, match up with how I feel on movies that I have seen, that I do trust scores like that.
Yeah.
Like Rotten Tomatoes, I trust them.
Have you ever been proven wrong, or you had like a completely opposite
I
opinion
definitely
about
have.
something?
I've enjoyed movies that are bad, but I look at it. I know it's for a different reason. Like I watched it as a kid, and I have a nostalgia for it. But never like I watch something. It's like, oh, that's good, and then the critics say it's bad. It's never really happened.
Okay. Yeah.
So Joss Whedon is going to be directing this, and Tanner was telling me yesterday that Patty Jenkins was originally
What's the director's name?
Joss Whedon.
Okay,
Do you have a critique?
you said it a little bit.
Whedon?
Whedon.
Yeah, you would say Whedon.
Yeah.
I say Whedon. Tomato, tomato.
Wow, you got a big forehead.
I know.
Woo!
And it's accentuated
Got
by
a
the
cranium.
by the hair loss.
Is that photoshopped?
No,
No.
that's
That's
straight
just
up
a
Joss.
picture,
You should be Brainiac.
Dude, if he's Sinestro in the next Green Lantern movie,
Ah.
then
Wow.
potential.
Nah, he'd be the Martian Manhunter, John Jones.
He's
Just
not
shave his
black,
head.
though.
He don't have to be black. Just paint his skin green. That's it. You good.
I feel like I heard Joss say that that he was like abandoning, or not abandoning, but he wasn't even interested in doing another adaptation of Firefly. Is anyone aware of that?
I think they said it just kind of needs to stop.
Yeah.
Like we're not going to
Exactly.
do anymore, and let's just leave it. Let the actors do their own things now.
Yeah. So as of now, like I said, Tanner was saying yesterday, but we're not entirely sure. Patty Jenkins might have been the first who was supposed to cross over from Warner Brothers to DC, because now she's directing Wonder Woman. But Joss is definitely the first one who is has got the gig, because he directed Age of Ultron, and now is going on to direct Batgirl. But we have the Batman coming out. We have Nightwing coming out. We have Batgirl coming out. How is all this going to make sense?
I thought
Oh, not to
Ben,
mention Gotham City Sirens.
I thought Ben Affleck didn't want no parts of the Batman movie.
Who knows, man? I don't know, because there's so many conflicting reports. It's
Yeah.
like every other day it was coming out. Either one day he didn't want to have anything to do with it. One day he wanted to just focus on portraying the character and not screw it up by directing as well. The next day he's saying screw DC because they're not happy with my script. Who knows, man?
Dude, also
But-
I love that. Sorry,
Nah, go ahead. You already started.
I love that DC really build themselves. They're like, okay, Marvel movies, they got this like house style. They all have to be the same for this universe. But we let our creators be creative. We allow for creative freedom, and then it's like original Wonder Woman director parted because of creative differences. First Flash director and second Flash director parted because of creative differences. I have no doubt if they started making a Nightwing movie with that Lego movie person, he's going to leave because of creative differences.
Well, I mean, these DC movies are very, very serious and dark, and it's only been how many now? Just two?
3.
Yeah,
Just-
Well,
three.
4, I guess. Man of Steel,
Batman, Suicide
3.
Squad.
Yeah, 3.
Like it's been a very serious tone, and immediately when I think of Batgirl, as far as like a standalone movie, I would think it would be a little lighthearted,
Well, like
just
Nightwing.
yeah,
gotta
like
be fun.
just like a little bit of fun. But these are like so much, like so serious.
The way
Like
I see this one ending is her transitioning to Oracle.
Yeah.
The Joker
Mm.
in the spine.
but who you gonna get to play the Joker? Because apparently Jared Leto, I didn't see Suicide Squad either, but people were not happy with his portrayal of the Joker.
Yeah,
He'll come back. It's fine.
he'll come back.
Well, he
Yeah.
was unhappy because they cut so much of him out. So I don't know if he will come back.
It's weird because a lot of these Marvel people, I'm sure, are just telling stuff to the cameras for the sake of like promoting their movies. But it really does seem like the Marvel people are way happier than the DC
Oh yeah,
people.
yeah.
But I can totally see Jared Leto go, yeah, I'm not going to come back. There's no way
Yeah.
you're getting me to
Oh yeah.
come back and blows his nose on a 20.
Well, they
Well, it's-
probably would. They probably try to. I mean, you would think they'd try to have solidarity and keep him in no matter what. But because he was received so poorly, which again he blamed on the studio making such drastic changes to the final cut, they would probably try to halter his deal at the same rate. Who knows how all that stuff works? Who knows if they'll keep Jared Leto or even if the Joker will be involved? But with Gotham City Sirens, I think that DC, the angle they're trying to take is they're going to beat Marvel to the female centric.
You cannot compete with Marvel because they're so deep in it and they're just expansive and it's been successful. You gotta just do your own thing with it.
Gotham City Sirens basically Birds of Prey.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Directed
with
by
Harley-
David Ayer again.
Yeah, with Harley Quinn as
Okay.
a character. Which, I mean, I just don't really. This is actually the only DC movie coming out that I'm mildly interested in if it happens. But although again, I'm like, I see a headline about 2 months into the pre-production of Batgirl, Joss Whedon departs Batgirl over creative differences.
Well, yeah, because even James Wan, who is currently on Aquaman directing, he left at one point, and they were able to get him back.
Yeah, that was weird. He like left for 2 days, and they're like, nope, he's back.
Yeah, exactly. And the same thing happened for I can't remember. Maybe the new Deadpool director.
Yeah, well, Tim Miller, the guy who directed the first one, is not directing
Yeah,
the new
yeah,
one.
because it's the guys who did John Wick,
Yeah.
or at least one of them.
Yeah, Tim Miller's working on the Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
No way.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yep.
Wow.
Whoa.
He's not directing, but apparently
No.
he's producing. He's trying to get that.
I am
movie
not
out
cool with this. Video game movies do not work out well, and I try to be optimistic about it.
Assassin's Creed isn't out yet, is it?
Have you seen
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank?
That
The movie?
because that should have been the first great one. Because that's
No.
the animated movie. No, I'm saying it should have been good. It's not.
Especially because Ratchet and Clank lends itself to being such an easy story
It's just
to make
fun.
funny.
Yeah, they
Just
said
make it funny.
I think they announced the same time they did Ratchet and Clank. They announced Sly Cooper.
But Ratchet and Clank lost so much money that they're like, we're not.
I
we're
would
not
have
doing
loved a
Cooper.
Sly Cooper movie.
Just
Yeah.
fun movies, but like it just
You
didn't
can
work
do the
out.
heist element with Sly Cooper.
That's it.
Perfect.
But it just doesn't work out too well, man. Just leave it alone.
I'm blown
Well-
away that they cannot make a good fighting game movie because that just lends itself so easily to a movie. You got a bunch of fun characters, a bunch
People-
of fight scenes.
people
and
are-
go with it.
People aren't into that anymore. That works in like the 90s and early 2000s. People are really not into that
I think
anymore.
people are more or less done with just fighting movies. That's why you always got to have some big like twist in it where it's not just you don't just have to fight. You have to fix this giant portal in the sky.
Yeah,
you know?
do an independent movie like they did Mortal Kombat years ago
Oh yeah.
on YouTube. Like
That was
they did like a quick like little video. I think it was like 10 minutes,
Yeah, I
and like
watched
that
those
was
every
really
day.
really dope. Yeah.
Every day they came out, man. That was
Huh.
super interesting.
It was-
Actually, you know what? There is a great Street Fighter movie. It's called Street Fighter's Assassin's Fist. It was released as a web series, but if you watch it as a whole, it's just one story about the training of Ryu and Ken.
Yeah, I heard that one was actually pretty
And
cool
it's
for the
actually
fans.
Really, yeah, it's actually really cool. It's well put together. It's got a decent story. Like the characters all make sense.
It's Ryu. I've been saying Ryu my whole life.
I always thought it was Ryu too.
Actually,
Cool.
I found out
This is
yeah,
the one
it's-
time I can chime in on Street Fighter.
I was about to say Jimmy's eyes are just glassed over.
I have no idea what you guys are talking. You could start talking about Marvel and DC,
Yeah.
and I'm just like,
No, I found out recently that there's always been debate over Ryu or Ryu, and then Japanese people said actually it's just Ryu. That's how you're supposed to say it in Japanese, just Ryu.
Did you
What?
guys know that Caillou is the son of Ryu?
Caillou.
Yeah.
Who?
Caillou.
Who's Caillou?
She's the children's bald kid.
Oh, that guy.
with cancer?
The jerk,
Yeah,
the jerk of a kid with the bald head.
He grows up into One Punch Man.
Oh, bring it all together.
Nice. That's a good fan theory. Yeah.
That is, I like that fan theory.
Who was the kid with the crayon? Harold and the purple crayon.
Yes, that little kid with the like 3 separate hairs and his weird
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
porn body.
You mean Eddie? From Ed,
Oh,
Ed and Eddie?
yeah, same thing though.
That would be a cool live action movie. Have
But-
Harold in the purple crayon.
Thought you were talking about Rudy from Chalk Zone.
You know what? What was it? The
I
Wonder
got it,
Twins.
Gerard. I got that reference.
Wonder Twins. Is that what they were called? Right.
In
Form
Justice
of-
Friends? Yeah.
Form of.
Yeah, that was
Water.
It wasn't twins.
Yeah.
No, it was Super Friends, but they were on Super Friends, but it was the Wonder Twins.
Okay. Yeah. That's okay. So I guess they would have to do like a whole Super Friends universe.
Also, I
They
got to
don't want to
point out.
invite that.
I got to point out that on that CW show, DC's Legends of Tomorrow, they're doing a story where like the Legion of Doom rewrote reality and now they rule the world, and their base is the base from Super Friends in the swamp.
Oh,
It's the
nice.
exact same design.
Swamp.
I thought that was the Legion of Dooms.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
They
too.
came out of the swamp.
Okay.
No,
so-
that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Legion of
okay,
Doom, but they
okay.
were the villains on Super Friends.
Got you.
Yeah, man, that was great.
Anyway, what's next on nerd culture?
So, but wait, they're doing that live action?
Well, just for like 2 episodes.
Sweet.
But actually, the Legion of Doom has been the best part of that show because they just got a bunch of really charismatic actors to play like Reverse Flash and all these villains.
Okay,
And it's
yeah.
just really fun.
So the next topic is SpaceX launched the first ever recycled rocket. This is it's pretty interesting. It's goes a long way in terms of sustainability, but it also just proves the lengths that Elon Musk is willing to go to help out the world. Because surely,
It's not. You gotta. How long did it take for him to build that rocket?
By hand, he worked on it about 10 years.
Okay. All right. How many man hours were put into building
He's
that rocket? Because if this is a rush project, And when he's trying to rush to get people into space, there's another I-85 waiting to happen. Another what was the one that blew up? Yeah, just another Challenger.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
There's cargo.
He has enough. He has more money than NASA has funding. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, a lot of these people have money, but like it's just that rushing to do it. Please take your time with this
Bill
thing.
pointed out this ship was just for cargo, which obviously makes sense as what you want to do. But I know SpaceX has had a bunch of failed launches, but I don't think they've ever had any.
They haven't had anything manned yet.
Yeah, they
other than like the stuff in a plane, maybe.
Yeah, and even then, I think their failed launches they have fail safes so they don't even get off the ground, right? They fail on the tarmac.
So it's like when that 1% is not right, it's just
they kill it.
It's just kill switch.
I really do think SpaceX sort of has their stuff together when it
cool,
comes to
cool,
this.
cool,
Trying to be
cool.
smart about
And I
it,
mean,
man.
there's no way that it was cheaper to use a recycled rocket. I don't think repurposing it and everything, doing all those checks. So I mean, like I said, it just kind of goes to show the lengths that he's willing to go because when you're dealing with rockets, everything is in millions.
They said it has to be 100% or it's not happening.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's just everything's not. It's
And
not gonna
nothing
happen.
is cheap with this stuff. I mean, literally any little thing you want to do, just for the amount of professionals you have to employ, for the materials that it takes, it's definitely in the millions. You're not. I would be surprised if there was like even a tiny component on a rocket that is less than $10,000. March 31st. This is Prime Nation Radio. Thank you guys for joining us. We're back from our final break. We might let this segment run on for as long as we want it to. We're having fun today. We're going to jump
Well,
right
I do
into...
have to go to work at some point.
Uh-oh, what
So
time?
I have to be there too, but it's fine.
You responsible adult.
I know, it's all right.
So we're going to jump on into Jimmy Smith's segment.
Oh,
Thanks, Tyler.
I like that intro. That's a good-
nah, it was Tanner.
Oh,
Yeah,
You did like a mouth movement at the same time. It was almost like you were dubbing it.
I looked and I was like, no, that wasn't Tyler. That was
Yeah,
Tanner.
okay,
yeah.
And then you smell it, you're like, that's not his flavor.
That doesn't smell like Diet Dr. Extreme.
Yeah.
It doesn't smell like flat 3-day-old Diet Dr. Extreme like I'm keeping in my car.
Yeah.
Ah.
For anyone who's wondering, this is the same 2-liter Tyler's been working with.
You savage.
Oh, wait, I gotta
man.
get the Tyler. I bet yesterday to get the Tyler shot where I was gonna have a close up every time you did that.
Yep.
I wonder why my body's shutting down. I don't understand. Anybody want to eat like
It's because you're going diet.
How
All
many-
the stuff in diet's bad.
How many Reese's sticks have you been eating a day?
No, I'm down on that. That's probably the problem. I'm not getting my
You gotta
favorite
get them up. You gotta get them up, man.
I'll bring my toxin for you next time we can do shots. of
Yeah,
those
I think that does need to be a,
Hey.
I think that needs to be a Friday routine, but by judging from the damage we're all taking during the week between Tyler chugging sodas, me.
I sip.
I'm lucky if I
I
make
don't want
it.
to say what I'm doing.
I'll make it. I'll be lucky if I make it to 35 with the rate I'm going at right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude, I'm 23. 25 would be amazing.
I said 35.
I know.
30. I'm giving myself 10 more years to live.
I mean, this is like, I don't know, this might be way too serious of a departure than what we're going on. If so, we'll jump right into Jimmy's thing. But like, I seriously, whenever I was younger than 18, I never, like, it's not like I had a death wish or anything like that. I just never foresaw myself living after 18.
Because you can.
Wow.
And it's not like that dark as it
But you
sounds.
just felt like you just peaked. Like
it was,
this is.
yeah, it was just like, okay, everything that I want to do, I'll have done by the time I'm 18. No need to think of anything past then.
I know that.
And that's why I had 3 horrible years after 18. So kids, if you're listening, plan out your life.
Yes.
I know that my hard drinking years have to stop, but for now I'm gonna enjoy them as long as I can.
The thing is, Tanner's a hard drinker, and I'm not. And we have the same body. We have the exact same body shape.
It's very true.
Well, I think soda's just as bad as beer.
Yeah,
Probably 10 times worse.
He drinks
Yeah.
both.
true. That is
I
true.
do. I'm also shorter.
Oh, dang.
Yeah,
Putting it in a compressed body.
I have a short fat man's body on a tall fat man's body.
All right, so Jimmy, what comedy do you have for us?
Well, I want to talk about Michael Che Matters on Netflix. It's a great special. A lot of people are just familiar with him from SNL and The Daily Show.
And he's getting the spinoff now of Weekend Update.
Is he?
Mhm.
Okay, I didn't
That's
know
not
that.
a full thing. I think they're just doing a trial run.
I don't know. I mean, I know that he's talked about it. It's confirmed for prime time. I don't know. It might be a trial run, but typically they don't really do.
It's not going to be a weekly thing, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, it's
gotcha.
gonna
That'll
Like-
probably go over. He's
Probably
not
see.
afraid to be offensive. That's what I like about him. He'll
He's
stand
not
behind
Trevor
what he said.
Noah.
He won't apologize. He'll
Yeah.
just be like, he'll put it out there and just be like, this
He
is what I
called
think.
Boston racist the other day.
Yeah,
And
yeah, he did.
Boston Globe reported on it. He's like,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah,
Oh.
he's like, he doesn't take it back.
He's got
You know
a
who?
point.
You know who agrees with him? Bill Burr, somebody you don't know. a fan of Bill Burr.
I don't
right?
love Bill Burr.
I
Okay,
don't
but-
love him, but I like him.
Okay.
Yeah,
I actually really like that animated Netflix show he did. As a family. That
so
was a really
good.
show.
I'm starting to think that maybe when you guys get a little older, you'll like Bill Burr more. I think.
I
Bill
did.
Burr, more like Bill Bohr.
Let's end the show right there.
Truthfully,
we're not going to hit
I appreciate his comedy a lot more now that I know more of his sensibilities from listening to him on podcasts. Like he bakes pies and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you wouldn't
yes.
think of that from listening to his stand-up, but he's like a well-rounded guy.
Mhm.
But that doesn't always come across. In
But
his
he says the same thing. Boston is racist. So,
Mhm. Well, there was a guy. I'm sure you saw him on Rogan. Michael.
Ian Black.
No, I
You're
can't.
talking about the cop?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can't remember his last name, but he was a former Boston detective, and he outed the whole police force as pretty
He
much
has
being
that movie, The
systematic.
57 or something like that?
Oh, that wasn't him who I'm thinking of, but
Okay,
that's
you're
another
talking about
great
someone-
Rogan
okay.
guest.
A
But
bunch
yeah,
of dirty mix.
So they're both named Michael.
yeah, this-
Whoa!
I know, yeah.
Whoa!
But yeah, this guy, his first name is Michael. I'll comment on this YouTube video if I
Have you
find
guys
it.
ever been to Boston? I've never been.
I never have.
I did. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. You already started.
Well, yeah, I did when I was, I think it was 2004 or 05, because my family were big Red Sox fans, so we went to see a Red Sox game at Fenway. And do you guys know about the Green Monster?
Yeah.
Yeah, the wall.
Yeah, well,
No,
the wall,
can you
but they
please
also,
explain?
well, they also made the Green Monster into like a little, like a mascot, essentially. And there was this really freaking creepy old dude hugging the Green Monster, like
What-
inanimate
what-
statues.
What
and
is the Green Monster?
Yeah,
I'll pull up an image, but it's the wall at the end of Fenway Park.
It's
And
For
like
home
the-
runs, the wall
yeah.
you hit over.
Oh,
But then they
okay.
actually made a mascot. Isn't he just hairy?
yeah,
Is it
Fuzzy?
because it's covered
Just
in?
fuzzy.
Is it because it's covered in moss or
They painted it green, I
yeah,
think.
just
Yeah.
painting it.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was moss or vines or something. There's one that has. Is that Chicago?
Wrigley.
Wrigley,
Wrigley is
okay.
the
Right.
grass. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I've
But
heard-
anyway, back to Michael Che.
Well, actually, real quick before that, here's the Green Monster. And
He looks so friendly.
yeah, and there was this old guy. Me and my brother were just so weirded out by this guy. He had like a Green Monster little toy, and he was talking to it, and he was alone. And it was just a very odd trip. Great game though. It was so cool to actually see a real Red Sox game.
I went to a baseball game. It was boring.
So Michael Che fist fought that monster.
Yeah,
This-
yeah.
That's why the town.
And that's what proved
Yeah.
he was like, Boston is racist. I've defeated the Green Monster.
But this is his debut special, and it's almost too good for a debut special. He hits on everything that you want to do. His crowd work is great. I mean,
He's been doing comedy like what, 5-7 years?
I really don't. Probably I saw him first, I think, in 2011. I've seen him twice live.
And he
when
blew
came
up
to Nutshell.
quick.
Yes, yeah. I knew he had something special. I brought friends to come see him the second time he came to Nutshell. I was like, this guy is going places. I just knew it. When I saw him live, he knew somebody in the front row was a cop, and by the end of it, the dude threw his badge on the floor.
What?
And he just knew it. And it was just kind of weird. He's really good at reading people, and he's really good at just like, I don't know, interacting with the crowd, and you can just tell what they're thinking, what their beliefs and stuff are, kind of. And he has fun with it. So, but
Personable.
he does. Yeah, and he does everything you want in a special. The thing I like the most is how he ended it. People they never know how they're going to end their special because you want to end on like your best joke. But he just kind of just didn't do that. He just kind of did a cheesy one-liner, and just
I feel like that's kind of been happening with a lot of the specials that I've watched.
It
lately.
seemed like the chop up, like I guess he just picked that, like just ended with that right
Yeah.
there, like from
Yeah.
the editing
The
part.
last Jim Jeffries special, I was kind of blown away that he ended with what he ended with.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best bit in that.
It wasn't the
yeah.
Jim Jeffries bit. The way he ends that, it kind of left me wanting more.
Yeah, I was
but
like-
but Michael Che's, I was just like, oh, that's the perfect way to end it because he hits
Right.
on so many serious things. Stuff you just have to watch it. He talks about Harambe, Cecil, all that stuff. And it's just phenomenal. Great one
forgot
to
about
watch.
Cecil.
Five thumbs up again. I'm gonna start doing that because I never know whether to give something 5 stars, 2 thumbs up. So I'm just gonna say 5 thumbs up.
Where's that other thumb come from? I mean,
I'm
you
just
could-
having
three.
fun. I'm
well,
just
I mean,
having
you
fun.
could potentially, say that your big toes are the other thumbs, but this still leaves
This is
you lacking a
just
thumb.
me. This is just me having fun with how to rate something. I'm coming up with my own Jimmy rating system. I
Okay.
don't want to give it 2 thumbs up or 5 stars.
Yeah.
I'm combining the little
Makes
5
sense.
So,
stars.
yeah, I had no idea he was on Weekend Update, that was him.
Yep.
What?
Well, people think he's Jay Farrow all the time.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
have fun with
Really?
that. Yeah.
Wow.
It's fun. Do you guys have a
His
favorite
eyebrows.
joke? I wanted to ask you guys this. I wanted to put you guys kind of on the spot, like a joke that always makes you laugh. Go for it.
Oh, okay. I just remember it's it might not be. It's the one where you say that, and this is what popped into my mind. Maybe it's not my favorite joke, but you said that. This is what I thought of.
Okay.
It's an old Louis C.K. bit where he talks about how kids constantly ask why, and there's no end to that conversation. You ask, why is the sky blue? I don't know. Why? Because in high school I didn't pay attention. Why? Because I was smoking weed too much and just like hanging out with girls. And he says that. He's like, and by the end it's so abstract. She's like, why? And you go, because some things are and some things are not. Why? Because things that are not can't be. And it just goes on. That's the one. I don't know, something about that. We just used to quote that because I love how abstract that gets, and you can totally see that happening.
The one that always sticks with me is Chappelle. I'm pretty sure it's from Killing Them Softly, where he goes, his friend was driving him, his friend Chip was driving him, and he was drunk. And Chappelle goes, of course, I was smoking a joint. I couldn't say to the guy. And then the cop pulls him over, and then the Chip is clearly drunk. And the guy is like, Chip tells him, oh, no, we were just trying to make it to 3rd Street. And the cop, knows that he's drunk, knows that Chappelle was smoking a joint.
You're on 3rd Street.
You're on 3rd Street.
My favorite joke is Brian Regan's cannonball wounds. Have you guys?
I've never seen that one.
It makes me laugh every single time, and I'm like, where I actually laugh out loud, and it's so stupid. And part of it is his actions. It's but he's just acts like he has a tube of cannonball wound ointment and he's applying it, and that's so just no. He's like, "Do you got any cannonball ointment? Cannonball wound ointment?" And he just starts like doing this
in a giant circle.
Yeah, in a giant circle, and then that makes me laugh every single time.
Brian Regan is really good at those little, just subtle, tiny little movements or tiny little flutters of his voice.
I feel like he is probably one of the best. As far as you can show him to anybody, he's so clean.
Yeah,
he's coming in August, by the way, to Greenfield.
I'm so stoked. I gotta see him.
Yeah.
One of my favorite bits from him, at least the start is good in his delivery, where he's acting.
Stupid in school.
That was actually the first. I remember going to my brother's when we moved my brother to college. My dad had next to him radio in his car, and that was like a new thing. It was awesome. And we listened to the clean comedy thing, and that was like the first bit we heard was his stupid in school, and we still quote that.
Ooh.
But something recently I found was his thing on just what it's like to buy a refrigerator. And
yes.
A salesman tried to sell a refrigerator, and he's like playing it so perfectly. He's like, all right, so this one keeps your food cold for 600. This one keeps your food cold for 800.
Yeah.
This one here, 1400. Guess what? Keeps all your food cold.
Tanner did that perfect.
But that's exactly what Brian Regan does, and that's what makes that bit. Well, you got to watch that video because he just nails it.
Stand-up comedy is so interesting, man, because in no other, you could try to make a sketch about that and get the same point across, but it wouldn't have the same poignancy as a person standing in front of hundreds of people.
It's such a personal
with a mic.
thing. That's why it's such a cool art form. It's just, it's
do
not.
You guys
it
have
doesn't
favorite
get respect.
jokes before we move on?
Yeah, recently I heard one from Sam Morrell that came through town. He had a joke about, he said, you guys remember that kid beginning of the year? You forget what you're outraged about. You don't even remember. You remember the kid that died he was eaten by an alligator at Disneyland? Yeah. Hey, you remember that? Well, don't act like you're offended. Don't act like you didn't watch the kid's funeral on TV. You weren't there. You weren't watching. You didn't see the mother get up there, bawling her eyes out, with a single tear coming down the side of her face, say, "See you later, alligator."
Sam had my favorite rape joke of 2012 too.
Oh, jeez.
I found myself
2012, man. You really got a list.
Oh, dude, I saw it. That's when I saw him. It was great, but I'm not going to tell the joke. But it's great. What about you, Drop?
Mine's not really a comedian. It's on one of my favorite podcasts, the Bodega Boys, and they kind of just riff on each other. And he brought up it's a Jamaican guy and a Dominican guy, and they both grew up in the Bronx in New York. And they were saying what if we could I see myself dating Taylor Swift? He said, but he was like, you gotta be disrespectful, so you can't be nice to her. So I'm gonna have it in the hood on a milk crate. I'm like, you're not going nowhere till you off this pack. Like Taylor, go buy me a beer. Just being mad disrespectful to her and whatnot. He said I gotta shake her up in front of the corner store. And he said Poppy comes out, it's just she said shake it up, but not like that, Poppy. No, just really
funny coming with their accent.
Just because they're spot on for all the Jamaican references and all everything. It's just cool. These guys have spent their whole lives in New York. And just their takes on just everything in the world. It's just funny.
Some of my hardest laughs have come from The Fighter and the Kid. Just the ridiculous things that Brendan Schaub will say. I don't know. Did you ever watch? Or
Oh
listen
no,
to-
yeah, I like, but him and Brian have a
Yeah.
good chemistry. It's
Yeah,
fun.
just those little like uber silly remarks that he makes crack me up.
What kind of music do you have for us?
Oh, well, I do want to talk about Thundercats album called Drunk. Still album of the year. I know it's still too soon to say that, but it's great. It's fabulous. I did some research on him when I first heard it. I knew it was great when I first heard like the first 10 seconds of the album, and did some research. His dad played drums for the Temptations and Diana Ross, and he used to play bass for Suicidal Tendencies. So he is all over the place, and he's the mastermind behind To Pimp a Butterfly. So he has
Mastermind.
just produced kind of like
produced, okay.
yeah, did a lot of the. He's the reason that album's so musical.
You
and
know
has a lot of
what?
instruments. So,
Didn't he produce one of the interludes on Good Kid, Mad City?
he might have. I don't
think
know.
he produced one of the really like jazzy instrumental interludes.
Yeah, this album's totally jazzy. It's fun. It's that's the key word behind it. Fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy it a lot. He's killer on bass. He's a sick bass player. So that's my album of the year
Does he
so far.
provide all the instrumentation himself?
Probably no. He's got Kenny Loggins and Michael McDonald coming in on some tracks. So,
Whoa.
yeah, so I mean, he's that's what I'm saying. He knows everybody probably because of his parents.
Yeah,
So he's fun.
that's cool, man.
He has a lot of fun.
Kenny Loggins, wow.
Yeah. But lately I've been listening to a group called the Cloud Nothings. Their new album is called Life Without Sound. It's nothing special, but I just like it a lot. I do not like the last track on the album. It's like kind of a noise track, but they're kind of just an indie rock band. And another indie band called Vagabond. Their album's called Infinite Worlds. This isn't going to be the one that... This band has potential. This is my, like, band to watch.
Mm-hmm.
When I hear something there, and I don't know if it's going to... They could just fizzle out, but I think Vagabond, she could blow up.
Okay. And
So-
what was the name of the first band again?
Cloud Nothings.
Okay, cool.
How does Vagabond, like, can you describe her style?
Just lo-fi indie rock.
Okay, so
all the stuff I really like is gonna be like indie rock, guitar based
Okay,
stuff.
so is it
almost
like the antithesis to like how St. Vincent's is kind of higher up, hers is lower down, low energy, lower.
Yeah, well, yeah, not. I wouldn't say low energy because some of the songs have a little bit of rockiness to them. But
Okay.
yeah. St.
Sorry,
Vincent,
yeah,
has, she has her own guitar, her own guitar that just came out, and it looks kind of cool. It
St.
looks kind
Vincent
of
or Vagabond?
Vagabond. Or I'm not saying
It's a
Vincent.
lock
She has her
button.
own line of guitars that just came out. So, but it's pretty good. It's a pretty good looking guitar. I haven't got a chance to play one, but it looks pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
How do you find these bands? Do you have like a certain site you go to, or?
A lot of times I'll look at how Tyler was saying when he sees a critic review a movie.
Mhm.
If I agree with critics a lot on music, not all the time. There's stuff I love that gets like 2 stars, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, this album's fun. I'll enjoy. I know it's stupid, but a lot of times I agree with the critics a lot. What happened? What made me realize that was when Radiohead's OK Computer came out. That album changed my life as a guitar player, as a person, and that album's like critically acclaimed. It's one of the best rock albums of all time, people say, but it's not for everybody, definitely. But that's when I realized I was like kind of in tune with the music critics and what they thought. So I've kind of just stuck with that ever since I was 15, and whatever critics are saying is great, I'll give it a listen. I don't always agree with them, but if it's getting high ratings, I'll give it a listen.
Nice. But do you find it from like Pitchfork or something like that?
Yeah,
or?
Pitchfork,
Okay,
lots of different places.
Gotcha.
I'd usually just Google best music reviews, and I don't care who it comes from, Paste or whatever. Just
Nice. Cool.
There's a band called Microwave I like a lot. They're nothing special, but they're just all like they're nostalgic kind of sound alternative. I posted something on my Facebook, and of course nobody liked it, so nobody even watched it. I'm just like, this is something you should listen to.
There's just so many bands, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, just like there's so many
It's
shows.
overwhelming,
There's
yeah.
so many radio shows. There's so many podcasts.
Have you not seen this band, Sydney?
Because there's so many of them. That's my point. I mean, it's it's definitely a big double-edged sword in having the open source internet. Is that everyone can put out stuff, but then there's just so much that no one really is able to find the stuff that might speak to them the most. Because
I've
They
had
just give
to.
us what
My
they put down as well.
my favorite band is out there somewhere, and I'm never gonna hear them. And I've had to get okay with that.
Exactly.
Fact. That's what.
I got a question for you.
What's up?
Yeah, on an island alone, like small island, 3 albums you would take with you.
Oh, okay.
Good
Computer.
question.
Radiohead. Okay, computer.
Let's
just
make this
because
our first game. We'll go ahead and jump into games with this one.
Okay, Radiohead. Okay, computer. Just because it meant so much to me. That album can still make me cry. All that fun stuff. Weezer's first album, the Blue Album. Love it. It's just I don't know, just fun. And I'd probably have to take Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy, just for something. Even though, and they're thieves too. We were talking about Darwin stealing everything.
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin, that broke. I stayed away from that for so long, but they stole Stairway. They stole everything. Led
Yeah.
Zeppelin,
Well, when it comes to Houses of the Holy, When the Levee Breaks is one of the only songs I care about on that album. And they obviously that's a cover, so I don't have to feel guilty about
that
liking
song's
that
not
one.
on that album. But,
Oh, really?
No. But yeah, keep going. It's all right.
Nice.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
Which one is it on?
4, I think.
Oh, okay.
Zeppelin 4, because
Gotcha.
their first 4 albums were just 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then.
Man, I could swear that it has maybe I just have some janky album work or something
Ooh,
like that.
phone's coming out.
Yeah, 'cause
Oh.
whenever I play it, When the Levee Breaks, I'm pretty sure it's Houses of the Holy cover.
Gerard, do you have 3 albums?
I do. Boss, Too High to Riot. It came out 2015, I believe. Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. And Daft Punk, Discovery.
Nice.
Ooh, Daft Punk, you're gonna threw me for a loop
How
there.
do you
Yeah.
feel about Random Access Memories?
Random Access. That was the latest one.
I think so. The
That-
one that I think it was.
I haven't listened to it yet. I
It's a
will
great
eventually.
album. It's a great album.
I'll listen to it eventually sometime, but I haven't listened to that one yet. But
Yeah.
those are the 3 that stick out. And those are at key points in my life, like
Well, we never said that you got a CD player, so I'm just thinking of these albums in terms of how they could refract the light to
I
start a
burnt
fire.
Tanner a CD too.
I know. I
since,
cannot wait to
so,
hear.
You have that with you? Nice.
I've got it
Yeah,
right
I gave
here.
it to him. So,
Sweet,
so
sweet.
next week we'll get to weigh in and
Yeah.
find out and date them.
Yeah.
This is what I always do for girls when I burn
Jimmy,
them a CD.
Straight up, you were so nice. You sent me a Facebook message like, "Hey man, I want to make you like a CD. You know what kind of?"
Because you
stuff
talked
do
about
like?"
how like your 3 albums show that you need that CD.
Yes.
Like, but you know so much about comics. That's what's cool about humans. We all get into certain things, but I'm gonna open them up. So
No, that's all because I
hear some
I've said
stuff
that
you
I
hadn't
don't
heard.
know much about music. I
You'll hear
don't
some
know.
stuff, and you'll find some stuff you don't like. There's gonna be some stuff on there that's gonna be,
Oh
you're
yeah,
gonna hate, but
I'm sure.
yeah.
Sydney, you got 3 albums?
Yeah, I know definitely one of them would be Master of Puppets by Metallica. Another one would be The College Dropout by Kanye.
Mm.
Man, I'm having a hard time with my last one. I think it would either be Incredibad by The Lonely Island, because I love every single one of those songs. They fill me with joy. Or Steal This Album by System of a Down.
Oh
Yeah, and all of
yeah.
those...
I don't like that System of a Down album.
Yeah.
I just like the first 2. And then
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to decide if I wanted to go with Steal This Album or
Toxicity?
Yeah, well, I mean, Toxicity is great, but I listened to it too much in middle school.
Oh yeah,
so
everybody wore that album.
yeah, so all those songs are kind of worn out for me. But yeah, between the first and third albums, I think I'm still gonna go with Steal This Album. Yeah, so those would be my choices: College Dropout, Master of Puppets. And I'd probably go with Incredibad, just to have some levity on the island.
So you have fun.
Yeah. What about you, Tyler?
WWE soundtracks, all intro music.
Yeah.
WWE Anthology Volume 2.
Yeah.
No, I'd be Kids Bop 2.
Which one was Kids Bop 2? That would have been like
It's after the first one.
that would have been like NSYNC, Christina
I'm gonna
Aguilera.
look up the exact list.
Yeah, please do.
While you're looking that up, open up another tab, Kids Bop 4.
And now that's what I call music.
Oh, I feel like it's-
Jimmy, you stepped on my punchline!
I typed in Kids Bop with the S instead of a Z.
Oh, how dare you!
You're fired.
It's the
Wow,
cardinal rule
okay.
of Kids Bop.
they got Kryptonite,
Yeah, can I just run them
Oh,
down?
geez.
Turn on the Lights, Shape of My Heart, Fallen, absolutely, Survivor, which I'm
Story of a
assuming
Girl, just so you guys know.
that was
Yeah.
Destiny's Child song. Follow Me, You Remind Me.
Oh, is that Uncle Cracker? Follow Me?
I guess I don't know. There's no artist. They didn't list the
Oh,
musical
okay.
talents of
Okay.
Kids Bop.
Yeah, because it's the kids.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've got. Oh, sorry. Never mind.
Uh,
I thought I had the artist. I thought I had the artist.
where are they now? The Kids Bop.
God, that's a great
That
question.
would be awesome, actually. Can we find the Kids Pop people to bring up on the show? Like, what was it like recording these Kids Pop albums?
Yeah,
What
for
is
real.
it like working in a car rental place now? I would, for real though, I only have one that I take with me because there's only one musical album I really have any connection to, or any emotional connection to. Like I like a lot of music. If I had a chance, I'd probably burn like 2 CDs worth of
Same here.
my favorite single songs.
That's what I mean
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the singles. I prefer the singles, and I just want to have my own mixes.
Yeah.
That's not how I listen to music, but I mean that's just why I'm different. That's why I'm having to give album reviews and things like
Yeah,
that. I can't.
yeah. That's why we trust you with that.
But I'll still buy